Hey, welcome to the very first episode of the Redeye stream on my secondary channel, the Redeye Live. This is number 89. We're back, and should YouTube have unions? All right, let's jump right into that because I think most of us have seen the video I'm referring to, which I'll link in the description after the show. But he had some good ideas, but I am naturally opposed to unions just because I see how they've really messed up, like the teachers union messed the school system up bad. So I don't necessarily know if YouTubers unionized, if that would be a good thing, and who would be involved in this union. You're not going to have Sargon and Christy Winters in the same YouTube union, are you?
I wouldn't have thought you would have people of that opposite of political identity working together, but you'd have generally like centrists and people that don't have any political views generally working together, I would imagine. So generally unions, like you say, when they get too unionized, when they get too much power, yeah, they're really bad. You can see that from the UK's perspective or the Americans' perspective or any perspective. But the idea of a socialist union as a concept and as a beginning is a very good idea, to the fact that it gives power to the people that actually are in a cooperation. So it has the idea and the potential to work very well. Now, anybody that knows me knows that I'm not a socialist by any stretch of the imagination, but some socialist ideas do work, and a form of a union does work as long as you don't give it too much power.
I don't think well, you can't give it too much power, because if it doesn't have enough power, it can't enact anything. Okay, the purpose of unions when they work is when they're focused on fixing a problem with the work environment. Okay, in this case, if you're worried about free speech, if you're worried about making sure the platform is open, etc., to make sure that people are allowed to post their content. That all sounds well and good. Okay, and theoretically, well, if you want to look at it from that standpoint, discuss it from that standpoint, that's fine. At the point where they have enough power they can take down YouTube, I personally don't see that happening, but let's assume that they get all the content, over half the content creators. We'll just throw out a number there that actually unionize and then start working collectively. Okay, at that point right there, okay, you have a lot of at least initial power to make changes within the work environment. But once that's done, once the work environment is stabilized, all right, then what does the union do? I mean, what can the union do? It basically has to disintegrate, right? Or what happens is it becomes like a trade union, where they start using this as a method to establish control. Okay, we're going to be the gatekeepers. We're going to tell you who can be on YouTube and who can't be on YouTube, et cetera, et cetera. Now, that's all theoretical. In reality, how are you going to get people to unionize?
Yeah, that's my question. Okay, so the man that put out the video, I believe, has a pretty good channel, right? He does the Slingshot channel. I've heard of him before I even saw this video. He makes his own homemade slingshots, shows you how to make them, and then tries them out, right? That's pretty much his thing. So he's fairly big. That's good. Would Styx join? What about the YouTube Alliance? That's kind of dead now. But could that be revived and turn into this union type apparatus?
Yeah, I think it can, to be honest. Simply because you've got people like Undoomed, which are obviously not a socialist in any sort of shape or form. Now, don't get me wrong, you've got Coach Red Pill, which what anybody else wants to think about him on a personal level. You can't say that he's a socialist or anywhere near a left winger, sorry. So you can't really say that the people that are mirroring this idea and mirroring this point are being socialist and going down the devastation or route of a union. They're actually thinking it as a point of, we need to defend ourselves on YouTube. We need a backing. We need people behind us to be able to decide that we need a platform. Because at the end of the day, like he says in the video, we're partners. We're not their subjects. We're not their type of people that are just making money for them. We're not their employees. We're partners because we're making our own content. And the idea of a union on this platform does make a hell of a lot of sense. I mean, does it matter if it's called an alliance or a union? It's still the same principle.
Well, yes and no. I mean, the idea of a union, especially when you're talking about from a YouTube perspective, there's another way to look at it, and that is YouTube creators themselves who are in the same genre, all right, are fighting for the same demographic, so therefore they're competitors. Okay, so just to the idea that they could go and unionize, I think it's better to sit up there and talk about it from an alliance standpoint than you or a loose confederation rather than the standard view of what a union is.
Is it the word that is not frightens you? Is it the word that makes you apprehensive? Because all of them are just basically the same as a union in practice. The alliance will band together and help everybody that's under the same thing. That's the same premise as a union.
The union is a bit more specific in the United States and a bit more formalized and codified.
But the way that he's trying to portray this is just a point of people gathering together.
No, I understand that.
Yeah, but I'm just elaborating for the audience. The way that he's advertising it is to bring people together and actually be able to fight YouTube to make sure that we don't all get censored. Now, it's not that it has so many political differences in the actual union itself, so to speak. It has people that have slingshot channels, people that make things and things like that. It also has people that have makeup channels, that do gaming channels and things like that. It's not just a political standpoint. This is a point of actually being able to stand up to YouTube together collectively and being able to say no.
I agree with you.
Well, I have a couple questions real quick. Sorry, MC. I just want to throw this out there. Well, first, like we were just talking about, you need to pull in the big creators. You need Sargon to join the alliance or union. You need people like Sticks. Oh, Undoomed is big. Yeah, no.
Yeah,
but then after you get the bigger people to join in, where's the threshold that you're allowed to join the union? Are you saying you got to hit 1,000 subscribers, 150? You got to have a number here.
No. If you watch the video, he actually says that he wants it from any small creator all the way up to the biggest creators. It doesn't matter if you have a video channel or if you produce a video or not, or if you watch a video. Anybody can join the union. He's already put that in the video.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good. Now the union also has to have teeth. So are these creators really willing to walk away from the platform in protest? Because if they're not willing to put their livelihoods on the line, because so let's be real. Sargon makes his money on YouTube. All right. He has some other stuff on the side, but he makes most of his money on YouTube. Same with Sticks. Yeah, he sells some books, but he makes most of his money through Patreon and from doing his YouTube channel. Would he be willing to walk away from the platform for a month, for 6 months, for a year? Sometimes these unions go on indefinitely.
No, I definitely understand. That that theory. I really, really do. I do understand it, and it is a scary point on that to be able to have it for that length of time. But it's not just a case of it being political channels that are going to join this union. It is also as well people like makeup channels. It's also people that do vlogs. It's a wide, I hate this word, spectrum of people. But it's a case that those people will be able to step away from YouTube for a couple of days or a week or whatever. They will be able to do that. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to step away, but you have to be able to threaten it. And if you've got financial backing as well, which is what he was suggesting in the actual video, that he gets financial backing as well as press backing as well to be able to go to the press and things like that, then you do have a very strong backbone and something to rely on in the actual idea and premise of it.
There's where you start running into problems. All right. One, you're never going to have press backing. Ever. Okay. You got to understand. They want to destroy this. Okay. All right. The press has no problem, all right, watching YouTube burn to the ground. In fact, if they could burn it to the ground, they would.
Well, they don't want to burn it to the ground. They want to co-opt it for their own.
Well, they want to control. They want it under their thumb and control it, which is it goes to the second part of the problem, which is whether we like it or not. There's a lot of these larger channels that are frankly not upset at all that Sargon gets banned. They're not upset at all. All right,
No.
when PewDiePie gets hit and called the Nazi. They don't see any problem with it whatsoever. All right, so how are you going to convince them to do this? Now, yes, you could do a good threat. I mean, one of the biggest threats you could do is say, okay, on a specific date, we're going to migrate all of our stuff over to, let's say, BitChute. All right, and if enough of that happens, yeah, Google may take notice and then say, okay, we made a mistake. We'll back down. All right, but to coordinate something like that, to get something like that coordinated, is it possible? Yeah, but you're talking herding cats right now. Because the other thing about it is if you're going to do something like this, you have to formalize it somehow. You've got to come back with some kind of formalized structure to create it. All right. And then you've got to sit up there and have leadership in order to drive the point home. That's going to be dang near impossible to do.
Well, the thing is that this has been tried before. I mean, I met Mad Dodge, Coffee, everyone I know I have met through this little fucking doohickey that failed horribly and ate shit in the dirt that was called the YouTube Alliance. And everyone made videos talking about YouTube Alliance and how everyone was going to get together. It was going to be amazing. The YouTubers were going to be dictating the terms. We got big dicks now, buddy. But that never came into fruition. Styx was the originator of this idea. And no one stepped up to the plate. No one wanted to lead it. None of the bigger YouTubers got behind it. Like you said, herding cats. That's why I fucking laughed. It's because it's fucking true, and it's happened before. A YouTube union, you would just be repeating history at this point. It's trying something that's been done that clearly doesn't work.
But did they actually have a point to actually fight, though, Mad Dodge? That's the point, isn't it? With the YouTube Alliance, it's a case of, did they actually have something that's immediate? Not something that could happen in the future, but something that's immediate, where people are getting censored now. There's an immediate threat for everybody. Everybody's getting monetized. Everybody's now losing subscribers. Everybody's now having shit going wrong, losing whatever. There's now an immediate threat for everybody.
It was the first wave of demonetization, where people literally stopped making money altogether on their YouTube. That was when it happened.
Okay. If you go into the brass tacks of what the man was saying in his video, the financial part. So, okay, who are we going to entrust with our dues? We need a leader for the union, and we have to trust them with money that comes out of our own Patreons. Or if you don't even have a Patreon, like if 40 was going to join this union, he doesn't even have a Patreon. I don't think he would be paying out of his own pocket. What incentive is there to give some stranger dues for a union if you don't know if they're really going to represent you?
Well, first, he did say in the video that there would be no dues to be paid. But just to get back before we move on to that point, you have to remember that, and I don't want to smash anybody's ego here, but we don't matter.
No,
There are like 1.3 billion people using YouTube. There is at least 5,000 plus YouTubers with over 1 million subscribers. We could all join together, everybody we know and everybody we watch, every channel, and all say, right, we're not uploading videos for a week. No one would fucking notice. You can put all of us together in a room, but no one's going to notice us. If they want to actually do this, they have to get the people with over 1 million subs. They have to get all of them. We honestly, again, don't count. They have to get the big people, because if the big people start saying, like a PewDiePie and 100 people like him with the same level of subs says, right, we're not uploading for a week, that will get noticed. 1 million of us with 250 subscribers could do the same thing, and no one would notice.
Right. The other problem with that is that those larger YouTubers, right, would rightly expect to be the ones who are controlling things, because they're the ones who are driving the force. And to be frank, do you trust PewDiePie to make these kind of decisions? Because I think PewDiePie is a moron.
Well,
Well,
I think
consider he
he's
didn't even
Well,
stand up to
hang
the
on,
Washington Post.
hang on,
No.
before anybody continues on that point, if you think somebody's a moron, fair enough. But that's a moron. That's the biggest YouTuber with the biggest subscribers. He's doing something
I
fucking right.
understand that, but if he's the one who's placed in charge of this,
well,
If
no,
That's the thing, though. Would he want to be? Would he want to be?
well, I'm
That's
just
the
using
thing.
him.
Leaders emerge
Honestly,
from
I'm
any
just using
group.
him as an example. Okay,
well,
No, I'm just saying, in general, just because you've got big subscribers, for instance, a makeup channel may have massive amounts of subscribers.
right?
Does that mean that they're going to be a leader of any sort of group?
Well,
Leaders emerge from any sort of group that happens, but they emerge naturally. They don't get thrusted forward.
but the followers when people have those larger channels, they get egos.
mhm.
All right. And so somebody's going to have to be able, a leader would have to be able to manage all those separate egos. All right. Because everyone's going to have their own ideas of how to do things. And at some point in time, somebody's going to be told no. And their egos are going to get bruised.
It reminds me of the kind of Hellenic nations, city-states rather, going to war with Persia. I want command of the army. Well, I want command of the navy. Well, but I wanted command of the navy. What are you talking about?
Exactly.
Oh, God. Well, I mean,
Yeah,
no,
no,
hold on.
I do understand all of your premises. I really do understand them. But it's the simple case of how do people, as you quite rightly just said, get put forward to be leaders of anywhere? They naturally get selected. They naturally get thrusted upon them. Same as prime ministers and presidents and things like that. They naturally get voted in. The bloke on the actual video said that he's going to try and treat this as a democracy. So any sort of polls or anything else like that, he's going to make sure that everybody gets a vote on it. Now, whether or not you believe in direct democracy is not the point. It's the point of he believes that it's going to be a democracy, meaning he doesn't want to be the leader and he wants people to emerge as leaders and be voted as such.
Okay. But then people have to be committed to following that leadership. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
And let's be honest, you're not going to see that.
Well, I don't know.
Well, actually,
I don't know about that.
I have an idea. I have an idea to where it may work. Okay, so YouTube is taking massive heat because it can't police its own site. What if we created the union? We did an election for the union head. We do pay a little bit of dues. I disagree. If you're going to have a union, you need to have financial backing, because if we all protest, then the dues come back to the union members. That's the whole point, right? Or you use them to lobby the company and to change something. Either way, they're being used for something
You
good.
can lobby the company with the views and the actual ads that you get, which is what he said in the video.
I'm sorry, Maud, but are you going to give out your bank details to someone over the internet?
No, I would literally just use PayPal to pay a due if I had to.
Yes, but there's
no,
someone
that's not
back
even the
on
real
page.
point. What I was trying to get to, though, is the union. We would take responsibility for policing the site. So we would take the heat off of Google, and so they could loosen up the restrictions that they're enacting.
Dude,
Yes,
that
but
be a
again, Maud,
that's
how
fucking.
does someone with like us, right? If say 10 of the big boys, right, the big people who have over 1 million subscribers say we're going to do this, and a bunch of us little people say no, that's a stupid idea, let's do this instead. Do you think we're ever going to get listened to at all?
Well, no, because I mean, here's the thing. I mean, a lot of these smaller YouTubers are idealistic, but they don't have many interactions with some of the people that actually work at YouTube. A lot of these big people with millions of YouTube subscribers, they do. They may have, they've been on YouTube for years and years. They may have far more intricate knowledge of how the flagging system works and stuff like that. I would much rather they actually take control of matters. I wouldn't trust any small YouTuber who's been on here for 3 months to actually participate in the decision-making process and make the right choices. I wouldn't even trust myself with that.
We've already gone over that. That's the point, though. We've already gone over that. Most people wouldn't vote for somebody who's been on here for 3 months. Somebody would pick somebody like a Boogie, for instance, or maybe even a bloke that actually started it off. That they would pick somebody that's been on it, that knows it intricately. Like the bloke said on the video, he's got people he knows on the YouTube scene. He's been able to speak to trusted flaggers and whatever. So you'd be voting for people that know the system. You wouldn't be just picking somebody out of the blue.
Yeah. Well, and like, and this is where I have to agree. I mean, I think like someone like PewDiePie would actually be expert at this, right? I know he comes off as like fucking idiotic sometimes, but I mean he has spoken up against YouTube before. He shit on the Washington Post when they were writing hit pieces about him. I mean, this is someone who's got a pair of fucking balls on him. I wouldn't mind trusting someone like him with handling these matters.
Yeah, no, exactly. And if you look at the scandals YouTube went through the last year, they were having weird ass videos on the kids' YouTube, right? Who found that out? Not YouTube. It was us, or the community found those videos and was like, what the fuck, and started making videos on it. That's how Daddy of Five got shut down. So I mean, we can police ourselves, can we not?
Weird kid stuff is the answer to that question.
Well, it's like this. The only way this could work is forget a fucking union, right? Just have like the guy has now, right? He's got a Facebook group, right? Everybody just joins the Facebook group. Then if something major happens, there's a Facebook notice. Everybody make a video about this subject, and everybody makes a video about that subject. Now, a few videos, no one notices. But if you could get like 1 million people making a video on the same subject, there's no way they can deny its existence. It's going to reach way too many people. So they're going to have to talk about it. That's the only thing. So forget this fucking joining unions and all this crud. Just have a simple solution. Just Facebook group, something comes up, everybody make a video about this or share someone else's videos about this, and that's it. That's all that has to be done. Nothing more complicated than that.
Okay, and I hear you, and I understand that. But then, how do you differentiate yourself from the actions of 4chan?
What do you mean?
Why would I not 4chan?
Then, for all intents and purposes, you're acting like 4chan does.
I have never visited 4chan MC, so you're going to have to give a bit more context.
Well, no. Not 4chan. What MC means to say is that 4chan is a chaotic place. It's governed by a collective mindset. Anyone who tries to stand out or doesn't do anything special, they get shut down and shit on. So it's
exactly like Google.
Well, yeah, pretty much. But I mean, it's a collectivist mindset where popular opinion reigns, and granted, that's not the best model, but at the same time, that kind of is not a bad idea. I mean, I don't know. Sorry, a lot of shit springs to mind when thinking about that. But
I mean, everybody enjoyed the fact that that idiot Shia LaBeouf and "You Will Not Divide Us" flag. Yeah. I mean, everybody enjoyed that, and everybody was cheering these guys on.
Well,
but at the same time,
let's be fair. They had a flamethrower drone, dude. How could you not enjoy that?
Yeah, that was kind of that was a bit of a failure, though.
To be fair, then that shows you that if they have a collective mindset, as everybody is insinuating, and they have a one directive, it shows you that they can actually get that directive done. Then, doesn't it?
Well,
so maybe that's not a bad idea.
But it allowed it was enjoyable for people to watch the individual actions take place, and you could see people using this kind of activity here and there. All right, but to be honest, it was more of a spontaneous thing that people were reacting to.
Yeah, and that's what's called a reaction. That's what's called a reaction, and people react to it. And this is what a reaction is: forming a union, being able to get people that are involved in it, sorting out what they want to do, having one common goal, and getting it done, and sending our own flamethrower drone to the flag of YouTube.
I hear it. I would like to see it. I just don't think it's feasible. I really don't.
Why do you not think it's feasible? Do you not think that people have the power to be able to change who's in power? For instance, I don't know, government?
You're not fighting the government, though.
Well,
you're not fighting against the government either.
How do you think things change in the real world? People protest, and with protest, things change. That's the
Okay.
way that it can happen
In order to do that, though, you've got to get a collective will across YouTube.
which is what he's trying to do as a union.
But you have to, once again, okay, so if you're going to do this, if you got to start working on a program to get people united under a specific concept and willing to fight it. Yes, he's willing to go. Yes, he can find like-minded people. All right, most of the people that have been banned or have problems with YouTube are more than willing to unite at this point in time under YouTube or to argue against YouTube.
Yeah.
But that's far from unanimity, and it's far from a. Let's be honest. It's like Voice is saying. It's far from a large segment that they have to notice at this point. They don't have to notice.
Yeah.
I hate to say this, but we talk about Sargon. Sargon has what, 500,000 people?
I think he's almost at 1 million.
No, he's at 770 something.
So he's not even over 1 million. So, and while PewDiePie had what, 40 million in his heyday?
50. He's almost at 60 million, I think.
I mean, they're going to listen to somebody like PewDiePie, but are they really going to pay attention to somebody that has less than 10% of what PewDiePie has? And then if you gather all of us collectively under there, that it can be a lot of views, but just the sheer volume you've got to be able to create. You've got to be able to get going in a specific direction. You've got to mold the whole thing to say, okay, here's the direction we're going to go. Here's what I need from you guys. Here's what we're going to do. Yes, you can start little spontaneous things, but people have to see results, okay, which means you need a large group of people pretty consistently. And what's more is you need longevity. It's one thing to respond, and this is what I was trying to say, the point I was trying to get to, I never did get to it, with 4chan was they can go over and hit specific instances like Shia LaBeouf. But can they continue this in a large on a continuous scale? No, it just kind of roams around and then.
Yes, they can. If they actually had a continued collective idea of what they were actually doing, like Shia LaBeouf, if you quite rightly pointed out, if they had a continuation of the single idea, yes, they can. That's the same thing as what happens with generalized governments. They have a single directive and they carry on.
But you don't have a single focus to sit up there and be able to lead that. And
you
that
see,
means, go ahead.
Sorry, MC, go ahead.
You don't have, at this point in time, you don't have anybody that's going to have a leader. So you need to have some kind of.
Do you know why they don't?
You need to have some kind of structure, and you got to have people committed to that structure ahead of time. And I don't see YouTube being able to do that.
Sorry. Do you know why they don't have a structure yet? Because they were only created yesterday.
Oh. Well, I mean, here's the danger with having a structure is the same kind of problems you run into with Sargon and his little liberalist movement. You say the one thing, you say one wrong thing, you slip up once, you say one thing that a certain tiny minority of people disagree with, then you're going to get denounced by, I don't know, people who are more left-leaning or something. I mean, to be honest, I think it would be more efficient to just vaguely let the YouTube collective decide what is important and to achieve those goals through the same kind of means that 4chan will try and take down Shia LaBeouf's flag. I mean, if an idea gets popularized and people think that idea is a good idea, they'll pursue it. It'll become popular.
I agree with MC here. I think he makes a very valid point. So I think if we're going to do it, we have to go with Timothy McVeigh route and just blow up the headquarters of YouTube in San Francisco. It gives some people to rally around.
I don't think I was advocating blowing up anybody.
Are you sure?
Wait a minute, voice. Wait a minute, voice. Is this payback for me saying down with the Empire, join the Rebel Alliance? You're trying to kill my second channel on its first live stream.
Look, listen. No, look, hear me out, right? Right, we can piss, like the mainstream media has control at the minute. They can piss and moan, and Google turns around and bends over and takes up the ass. Now, in order for us to take back control of YouTube, we have to have the bigger threat. Therefore, if we blow up the headquarters and say, listen, no more censorship, you can bet their ass will be more scared of us.
Do you know what's the biggest threat to YouTube? It's taking away their revenue, and their revenue is views and ads. And if you have all of the people that are supposed to be joining this union, I'll use that in inverted air quotes because everybody seems to be scared of that word for some reason. But if you're going to have that and have so many people leave and not have that threat and have that money, then people are just going to leave it. It's the principal idea of capitalism: hurt them where it hurts them the most.
Okay.
Their wallet.
I'm going to point something out to you. YouTube has never made money.
Mm-hmm.
It's not they're using YouTube for different purposes. Google is using YouTube for different purposes than what other people are using it for. Okay, they're using it for a number of things, and not the least of which is data mining. All right. So the idea that somehow you're going to hurt them from a revenue perspective, I don't see it there, because you're not going to hurt Google's bottom line. All right, and they're the ones who are basically looking at this as a lost leader kind of thing. It's how they utilize it in a different manner. All right, they also use it for programming and so forth, and managing large data things. There's a lot of reasons that Google tolerates the fact that this is a losing proposition for them, so that they know they don't make money. So the idea that somehow making them lose money is going to bother them, I don't think it's going to bother them as significantly. I really don't.
So you're telling me that a company that has over 8 billion or whatever it was, people using it, that's signed up to AdSense, that gets ads and everything else of that, is losing money? I'd love to see your statistics on that.
Oh, they say it. They Google.
Oh, yeah,
all the time.
They tell you straight up that YouTube loses money, but Google's other companies within Alphabet actually make money, so it offsets the cost, and that's why they can keep the platform up and running like they do.
The Google itself, specialized by itself, isn't intended to be. They don't use it as a money-making operation. They use it as an R&D platform. And it's a great R&D platform. Let's be
yeah.
This is tons and tons about how to write certain codes, how to write certain things for Google, like when you do your Google search. Google search makes a hell of a lot of money, all right? And a lot of the techniques, a lot of the programming techniques and data manipulation that YouTube utilizes can also be used, all right, for some of the stuff that they use in Google search. And Google search isn't the only thing that Google's involved in. I mean, they're involved in a heck of a lot.
Well, yeah, my Galaxy S5 runs on the Android platform, which is primarily owned by Google, right? So they're making money off of every Android phone they sell because of the operating system.
I think you're correct. Yeah, that's just one example. So,
as I said, Timothy McVeigh.
Yeah, I can tell you've been reading the Turner Diaries. Is it good so far?
Actually, not a bad read. I would highly suggest it.
Not you two.
That's two. We only need to convince 3 more.
I don't know, 40. If you were going to try and set up a union, I'm not saying you would, but how would you go about making this actually work? Who would you reach out to begin with? Who should this gentleman who brought up the idea actually reach out to make this a reality?
Okay, so, listen, if I absolutely have to form a union, I would honestly start reaching out to pretty much everyone below 1 million subscribers. Because the people with 1 million subscribers plus, I mean, they don't have anything to benefit for being a part of this union. They have themselves to make look good. But I mean, realistically, what happens when all the smaller YouTubers stop making content? What happens when everyone with less than 1 million subs stops making videos for a week or something? All that traffic gets driven right to the people who don't stop making videos. So realistically, it doesn't incentivize anyone who is a part of the, YouTube community thing, right? It doesn't incentivize anyone. It just to stick it to YouTube. No one's channels grow realistically unless you're making videos and getting views. So, and to be honest, I mean, the YouTube Alliance, for instance, when I was making like stupid little fucking YouTube Alliance videos, I think I made like 2 or 3, but I think those videos got like 100+ views a pop. And that's when I had like 60 subscribers. So, I mean, that's a lot of fucking views relative to my subscribers. So it pays off to make videos rather than to not make videos. But collectively, you need to figure out, there needs to be some form of figuring out what is the best topic to make videos about. And I think the best topic to make videos about is to just let the YouTube marketplace, quote unquote, decide what topics get the most views. Is it of grave importance, and should we make more videos about the topic? I think it should be decentralized, honestly.
Wait, so what you're saying is now we need to start doing makeup videos, 40?
No, I'm saying, of course, we don't need to do makeup videos, but in regards to fighting YouTube, what are the best ideas? What are more, cost effective, quote unquote, the most outcome for the least amount of effort? There's is organizing a giant union only to have it fail most likely in the long run because of poor infrastructure or poor leadership or not enough people paying dues, quote unquote. I mean, what's more efficient, to just let people make videos about how YouTube is fucking everyone, or to organize and potentially run up a giant ass red bill?
Also, you're forgetting one thing here, and I want to make this point, and I think I made it earlier on, but I don't know if I made it well enough. You have to remember, the majority of YouTube isn't being affected by this. Nothing, the censorship and stuff, the vast majority of channels aren't being affected by it.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not going to care from the start. It's only really political channels or piss take channels. It's a certain group that are being affected, and that's it.
Makeup channels are also getting affected. Loads of people are actually having monetization on this point getting taken away from them, and people getting flagged for no reason.
Yeah,
but out of the 1 billion plus people, how many is that? 500,000.
Well, I mean, also you have so if you don't unionize, they could just kill your channel, and then you can't put up a video to get the views, 40. So that's where I'm kind of with this union idea, because if you look at Tim Pool did a video today about this as well, not about the union part, but about the censorship, and he had another guy with another channel on, and he's labeled as a conspiracy theory guy. His channel gets massively demonetized. He's gotten strikes out of nowhere, kind of like what happened to me. I mean, it's been over 72 hours, you guys, and I have not received a response from the YouTube creator support, and I don't foresee receiving a response. I do not know when live streaming will be back on my regular channel.
Well, there you go.
As far as I know, that's gone.
There you go. What's to say that all Google has to do, again, we seem to be thinking, and I don't mean everybody here, but we seem to be thinking we're bigger than what we are here on YouTube. The simple fact is, all Google has to do is wait to this union site of this German guys, and I want to point out there's no one else a bit sus that is not fucking German in control. But all they have to do is wait till everybody joins this union on Facebook, and then just delete all those channels. Who's going to do anything about it? There's no other websites big enough to call it out for everybody who's joined on it being kicked from YouTube.
Well, wait a minute though. But there is one channel that does matter and is gigantic, and that's InfoWars. That is Alex Jones, and they are targeting him heavily. If he jumped in on this union idea, we could actually make it happen.
No, the first thing, because what's going to happen is the first thing, if he gets involved, it'll be another fucking conspiracy story. Remember,
Yeah.
this is a guy who's most famous for gay frogs. I
Isn't
mean,
that what we were talking
Everybody,
about anyway?
everybody that's been a part of it will be labeled a gay, believing in gay frogs.
But
Yeah.
isn't that
That's
what
what'll
we're talking
happen.
about anyway?
I mean, you laugh.
Well, I laughed because I thought you said everyone is going to be labeled as gay frogs. That's what I thought you were going to say.
But
No,
isn't
I
this
mean-
what the whole point is anyway? That everybody already thinks that this is a conspiracy theory, that everybody's against freedom of speech and things like that. Now, I'm obviously with everybody, I can see it's happening, but most people think it's a conspiracy theory anyway. So why would it not hurt having Alex Jones on there to be able to push all of the people that do believe that and do think that, or don't even know about it at the minute?
There are a lot of people who want nothing so much that despise Alex Jones to such a degree that they would want nothing to do with anything related to Alex Jones.
Have you ever heard of any press is no press is bad press? So if Alex Jones was to be able to come on, or somebody like him, and people started writing about it, then it would get into the press and people would look at it as a point of people being censored.
I have to say I disagree with her. Just ask Bill Cosby.
He's not in prison, though, is he?
No, but he lost all his jobs.
He's blind and can't work anyway. But at this point in time in his life, it doesn't freaking matter. I think
I'll
if they
put it
threw him in
in-
prison, it would probably be easier for him, an easier life for him, to be honest.
I'll put it like this. This is the way the situation is, and it's a situation. Now, I'm not one for giving up. I'm not one for laying down for a lot of people, but you have to remember, in the context of things, we are the native Indians, and Google is the damned fucking Puritans coming over from England. You know, we will get slaughtered.
Yeah.
You know,
Then there's no point in fighting back, and we might as well close down all of our channels then.
no. I would say that you wait another. Again, just look at the way things change, right? It's already turning against the narrative just by Brexit and Donald Trump being brought in and all the rest of the countries in the EU starting to turn against the EU. I mean, you wait about 10, 15 years and the needle will be back into the middle again, and the SJWs will all be employed or homeless because, you know, they've got useless degrees, and it'll resettle itself. You know, this is just you say a cultural thing that we're going through at the minute. That's not going to say it's going to last forever. You know?
Yeah, but what happens when you can't live stream, voice, or even worse, because you hardly live stream? What happens when they don't no longer allow you to upload a video longer than 15 minutes? What happens when they start hitting you? Because I've already been hit, dude, and I'm pissed.
I
Like, I'm
here.
Yeah,
There's
Well,
3 months.
hold on.
the thing about that,
Live
boys,
stream.
to be honest, the thing about that is there's no guarantee that the pendulum's going to swing back that way.
Well, and I was
Say that
about to
again. You're a
say,
bit quiet there, lad.
I said there's no guarantee that the pendulum is going to swing back, right? You're expecting this to cycle back and forth, but there's no guarantee that that's going to happen. Yeah, generally things cycle like that, but not always. And I don't think I'm not opposed to collective action, all right? But the thing is that it has to be directed, and it has to be sustained. What I mean by sustained is when something comes up, you've got to be able to get everybody together to go. So there has to be some kind of organizational structure, because if you keep trying to put this together again, like 40 was saying with the YouTube Alliance, basically you're trying to recreate the YouTube Alliance. If we have to do this every single time, recreate the Alliance, then its effect is at best is going to be minimal and left marginal every single time.
yeah.
That's at
Yes,
least
but
that's
the
how I see
problem is you're going to need, for a sustained effect, you're going to need full-time YouTubers in this. You know, the vast majority of us do this as a hobby. You know, if we do end up getting kicked off YouTube, it's not the end of the world. But if someone who livelihood is 100% because of YouTube. We're going to have to get them to do it. And let's be honest, they're going to be more worried and more selfish, and you can't blame them for this, for they're going to get paid. So they're not going to jeopardize their money to help a few people who are getting screwed over.
Yeah, exactly.
Again, you have to remember, and maybe it's because I'm a pessimist, but people are at heart selfish bastards. Let's look after yourself first.
Yeah.
Can I ask a quick question to you, please? Can a union stop a country from working, as in bringing a country to a standstill due to protest?
Oh, we've seen that happen in the steel industry in America in the 30s and so forth, when the unions were really starting to get their power. So the answer is yes.
I disagree with your answer to that, because it didn't work. They brought in frickin' scabs and broke those unions.
I was about to say, yeah, there were union busters. Companies would literally hire people to go out and beat the shit out of union leaders, and needless to say, that changed their mind pretty fucking quick.
Yeah,
Plus you have to look at the car industry here in the UK. It was destroyed because of unions. You know.
Yeah, I'm with you. I agree. That's the reason why union is a bad word. But the power of the union worked in the UK. It brought the country to its knees. And if it can bring a country to its knees by stopping one form of company, then surely there is power in the fact of a union, power in people. And surely that would have a correlation to thinking that we might be able to do something with YouTube.
Well, yeah, and how are they going to bust down Sargon's door if he was a union leader? Not saying he would take the damn job. He's having enough issues right now. I doubt he would take the job. But are they really going to go bust down his door and beat the shit out of him for a YouTube union?
Well,
I mean, what if half of VidCon did not show up this year? What if half of them out of protest walked off the panels?
What if everybody in YouTube walked away today? What if everybody in YouTube walked away? YouTube would go down. Would the country even be affected?
Well, no. Here's the thing: people will just step in their fucking place. Someone will take Sargon's place. Someone will take my place. Someone will take your place, Mad Dodge. If we all walked away from YouTube, what are you going to do?
Come on, 40. No one will take Mod's place. Come on.
What are we going to do? We're going to go to BitChute? What, you're going to have like 2 people watch the Redeye stream a month? For fuck's sake.
You're a dick, 40. God damn it.
Yeah, no, there's
that's
fucking...
not the point, though, is it?
There's no one on BitChute.
The point is that if Sargon did go to somewhere like BitChute, or if Sargon did go to somewhere, anywhere that had some other form of platform, those 750,000 people would go off and follow him. The same as if somebody...
No, I disagree. No, because
I totally agree.
If Sargon went to BitChute and BitChute alone, I would never see another one of his videos.
Yeah, same here.
Okay, but that's you. But if you look at Gab TV, they heard about Alex Jones getting 2 strikes. What did they immediately do on Twitter? All right, I follow Gab on Twitter. That's how I saw it. They immediately were like, "Hey, Alex, come to Gab. We'll set you up, man." You know, and you know why they said that? Because he has over 1 million fucking subscribers and over 2 million views every month.
Yep.
They want that attention. They want that migration. They want to stand up to YouTube.
Well, no, you gotta take numbers into account though. So he has 1 million or so subscribers, but how many views does he actually get? Out of all those views, how many people actually hit the like button? Out of all those people that hit the like button, out of all the people that hit the like button, how many people buy his fucking turn you fucking straight again protein shake or whatever the fuck it is?
Quite a lot.
Well, but I mean, nevertheless, the point is, how many people are actually gonna fucking follow him when fucking hit comes to hit?
Alex Jones moved across to somewhere else, I'd follow him across. Same as Sargon moved across, I would follow him. Same if Armored Skeptic moved across to somewhere else, I'd follow him across. Same as if On the Offensive moved across, I would follow them across. You follow the people you like. That's the power of capitalism. Surely in this type of stream, we would understand that.
Well, right, but
first off, I'm a little hurt that you won't follow me across Common Sense. I'm a little hurt by that. You cut me real deep, sir. But no, 40. You can respond directly because I'm responding to you. Okay, so yeah, some people hate watch Alex Jones, but don't you hate watch the Young Turks sometimes? I know I do,
No,
but they're still
I just
getting their
want to.
money. They're still getting their
Sorry, Matt.
view.
I have to break in here a minute. I can just tell you right now, on his main channel on YouTube, Sargon has 750 plus thousand subscribers. On Minds.com, which is his biggest secondary channel, he has 95. No, the majority of people aren't going to jump across to another channel
Well, I
because
think
YouTube has it
would
all.
grow. I do think it
Check
would
his
grow
Facebook.
those channels. All right. But you would have to be able. It isn't going to take just a Sargon. It would have to take a number of large content people to actually be noticed. All right. And then what would happen is people would start to see this other channel as a replacement of YouTube, just like people saw Facebook as a replacement of MySpace, and then they would naturally start to migrate over.
Exactly,
And that
but
would be
that,
through the power of the union, because the union would be able to cultivate people into that idea and pick a particular platform and then be able to force everybody to go that way, or at least insinuate everybody go that way.
well, maybe and maybe not, but I mean, MC's totally right, and that was he actually put it perfectly. That was the point. That was my rebuttal. I mean, here's the thing: if you have 10 content creators, a Sargon and an Armored Skeptic, insert your favorite fan favorites here, guys. Right? If Sargon alone goes over, no one's gonna fucking follow him. Everyone's gonna stay on YouTube because 9 out of 10 of their favorite content creators are still on YouTube. And that's not
just a common sense guy. He asked me how many he had in Facebook. 65,000, even lower than what he has in mind.
Yeah, fair enough. But
So
that's the point
yeah,
of the
I mean,
union.
but 40 was saying there, yeah, everything we want is on YouTube.
Well, and one other thing, I mean, YouTube is where the viewership is at the moment. There is no incentive for anyone to go to Gab or Minds or anything. I mean, the marketplace has made its decision. The marketplace has been flooded even with video hosting sites. You have BitChute, you have WrongThink. There's a fucking fuck ton. Redbeard has an entire 2-hour-long video dedicated to fucking listing off all these alternative sources. But guess what? You probably wouldn't recognize a single goddamn one of them aside from Minds and Gab. But there's no incentive there's no incentive to even go over to Minds and Gab because the platform is so goddamn small and it's not as superior to YouTube.
But if you got lots of people that migrated to those channels or to those websites, then you would have a lot more people actually going to it. That's the point of what the unionization of this idea is, to bring lots of people together to be able to motivate people into a particular area and particular point. We're all trying to say that it's all individualistic, but no, it's not. That's not the point of the union. The union was supposed to be the point of bringing everybody together and making a unified decision and then forcing people to go in that way.
Well, not only that, but if your contention, voice and 40 ounce, even MC a little bit, if your guys' contention is that people will not move away from YouTube, okay, I'll grant you that, even though that's the same concept Comcast had, and now you see a massive flood away from cable. But we'll forget that for a moment. If that's your contention, that's even more reason to unionize, is it not?
No, well, look at it this way, right? It's not about. I mean, again, I think the idea of this union is it's like Sargon's liberalist society. It sounds good and shiny on the outside, but let's be honest, in the end, it'll probably get nothing done. It's gonna, and if it does, it'll take years anyway. Because you don't have what you need to do. If you forget this fucking union business, what you need to do is get big people like Paul Joseph Watson, PewDiePie, James Franco, get all them people to get media on our side, because without mainstream media, or at least a few politicians, there's going to be no public pressure, period. And you need public pressure. I mean, we can sit and bitch and make a million videos about how bad YouTube is, but no one is going to know about it outside of YouTube. Why do you think the left has taken over Hollywood? Because they knew public opinion mattered. so they went and got it. We need to do the same. We need to get politicians. We need to get film stars. And if we don't get any of them, it's not going to do anything.
Exactly. I mean, one of the reasons social justice warriors are so fucking goddamn effective is because they utilize the exact same kind of Machiavelli tactics that Voice is talking about. You seek out powers of institution, you co-opt them, you make them do your bidding. That's exactly what fucking social justice warriors do. That's what Anita Sarkeesian was doing, sitting in front of the fucking UN, bitching about online bullying and all this other fucking dribble.
Do you know what else?
Yeah, but
Social justice warriors are really good at. They're really good at protesting.
Yeah.
Really, really good at protesting. And what does a union do? Oh yeah, that's right. They protest.
well, and that comes back to my idea of what if half the people at VidCon just walked out? Not the people that paid to come there, but the YouTubers. They're like, no, you know what? Fuck off and die. We're out of here. We joined the union. And then they protest outside, and then they do their own bar runs or whatever, like Worski did last year. I mean, wouldn't that be, put it in the spotlight at least? Wouldn't that be somewhat effective?
No, you know what's funny? I'll tell you exactly what's going to happen. And I'll use Kilroy as an example, right? Andy Worski dropped out, this person dropped out, that person dropped out, Dankula dropped out, right? All these people dropped out. Guess what they did? They just filled the spots with other people. They filled it with professors, with politicians. There's this guy, funny story actually. There's this guy speaking at Kilroy. He goes by the name of Rhetorical Entertainment. And funny enough, me and him actually talked for a while when we were both small channels. I think he's like around 1,000 or something now, but right, we talked for a while ago. He was at 500, I was at like 60 or something. And now he, a fucking small, like, no offense, but a tiny fucking channel, zero impact on YouTube community, relative to someone like Sargon. No one fucking knows who this guy is, and he's speaking at fucking Kilroy. They're just going to fill the slots with other people that agree with them ideologically.
Well, and I want to point out, I jumped up over 1,000. Kilroy, where's my offer? What's going on, guys?
Apparently you have to...
If I may. To take this point seriously, if I may, the thing is, though, when you get something like a Kilroy event that's happening, the way that you protest that event is by putting on your own event with the bigger people and putting it near to where that point is. That's how you win that aspect. And with a union type of an idea, you'll be able to motivate yourself to be able to do that type of stuff. But that's how you...
Well, and my contention...
Sorry?
Well, no, sorry to cut you off, Common Sense. I apologize. But my contention is still, no, that's not even how you do it. You lie to them. You say, yeah, I'll go. I'll be there. And you go, and you fulfill your contract. But you don't say shit. You just sit there. Or you walk out and protest.
And then you lose your own subscribers.
Protest is an American... No, you wouldn't. You would, and what you do is you tell everybody why you're doing it afterwards. Make a video or do it live outside, grandstand. Fuck them, dude. This is how protests in America first rose up. And I don't think the YouTube Alliance is quite dead. It's kind of like the Liberty movement. It took a while to start getting momentum. But then when you looked in 2012, Ron Paul damn near won the nomination for president. He was a cunt hair away, Voice. You could snowball effect these types of things.
I understand why you want to protest, but you have to remember, you have got, when you're talking about protests, you have to remember the logistical side of this. I mean, if the YouTubers in the UK, hold one in London, I'll not be going. I can't afford to take a plane over to London just to attend a fucking protest. Hell, if they have one down in Dublin, I can't afford to take the time off to go down.
No, I can't even afford to go to LA to VidCon, and that's a day and a half away. I can't even afford that shit. So I feel
logistics of getting protesters,
But that's the point that I was making by putting on the other show near it. You have the people that were going to go and see the Sargon, see the Armored Skeptors, the Shoe on Heads, the whatever, the whoever, wherever. You do that by putting it onto a show next to them. You take the people that were going to go to the previous one at the beginning. You take their money away by putting on something else with the ones that have been thrown off of YouTube, so to speak.
But they're getting paid to go there. Where's this money coming from? To pay these people to be there. I'm not going to fork out for it.
But
Well-
you don't need to do anything like that. You can just go to a pub and just sit in a fucking corner. It's not a case of needing to have a big old hall or whatever to have lots of people in. You just take away the people that are going to the original show.
Yeah, but who's going to cover it? I mean, everybody's going to cover this big thing
That's the
with
point
a lot
of
of
the
people on
internet,
it.
my friend.
A lot of people. Who's going to go down
Everybody's
to the
got a smartphone.
local pub and photograph a lot of people sitting around doing nothing? You know, it's
But
not
there
going to
wouldn't
attract
be anybody
enough
sitting around
attention.
doing anything, voice. That's the point. It would be the same thing as having a panel. You have two people sitting next to each other talking, or you have somebody that's talking at the beginning and everybody watching. And as for covering it, everybody's got a goddamn smartphone. Everybody's got microphones on their phones. Everybody's got a camera.
Yeah, but again, who's going to watch it? Other YouTubers who are fans of them, but like
Everybody
that's
else.
not going to. Again,
Well, no,
they
and
wouldn't-
why do you have to have a conference at a physical location? We're all YouTubers, right? Why not do a virtual conference that people don't have to pay to see? You know, do it on a channel that has super chat and just have all these people on the panel talk and do it live via that way.
You mean what
laugh
they're doing
when
already,
Styx
Mark?
is doing it
you
pretty
know,
much, but
they're doing that
no,
already.
but they're not pairing up.
The reason
And,
why
well,
you do
people are
it physically,
watching.
Mad Dodge. The reason why you do it physically, Mad Dodge, is simply because you want to take away and show the YouTube company or the company that's putting on the show that you can take away their people because you've got the bigger people that they're censoring, forcing them to make the decision of bringing those people back. That's the power of capitalism.
Yeah, but as I was saying though, Styx is going to he's not physically going to a conference because he can't go to New York. But what he's doing is virtual casting there into the auditorium. So he'll be at home like a live stream and they're physically there and there's other panel members that are actually there. You know, kind of like when they did the debates and they had the YouTube debate to where YouTube people sent in questions, you know?
No,
I mean,
hang
why
on,
can't
hang
you
on.
do
No,
stuff
that's
like this?
No, that's fucking no. Sorry, Matt. That's a stupid idea. Who's going to go and pay to watch a YouTuber
I'm not
on the
telling them to
TV
pay.
in another location instead of watching that same YouTuber at home on the
Whoever's
computer?
going to this conference in New York.
Yeah,
boys.
but you go to a conference to meet
Styx
people
already
you want to
announced
talk
it.
with.
That's what's going on.
Voice,
You know,
voice.
and to go back to Common Sense Guy's
Voice.
point earlier on, people are not going to leave. Armored Skeptic and none of them boys are going to leave to protest this because they're getting paid
They would
for
if they
that.
got censored, wouldn't they, mate? They would if
Huh?
they got censored.
They got what?
I said they would if they got censored.
Yes, but they're not getting censored.
But they will do
You
if
know.
it carries on, and that's the point, isn't it? But you're
Yes,
saying
but
that it's a
again-
bad idea. Have you ever heard of a band called the Gorillas?
Yes, I have. That's the
Yeah,
lead
they did
singer out of
everything by holograms. All their live stuff was holographic because they wanted to do the cartoons. People paid
Fuck would
for
want
that
to
shit
see
to
that.
see it.
holograms.
Yes, well, they portrayed it on the back of the screen or whatever, but they actually did it because they were cartoons. So people actually paid to go and see them.
Yes, but no one else, unless you're, who's a cartoon on fucking YouTube? Yeah,
Everybody
these
is.
people.
Half the people. Yeah.
Yeah, Ghastly, AP the Fraud, or whatever. Like, I can think of a couple people off the top of my head that I watch that are
Yeah, but
cartoons.
again,
You know, have you ever heard of Gulf City, nigga? Gulf City.
I mean, like, honestly, when it comes down, and again, maybe it's just because I am at heart a pessimist, but I really don't think if, say, Armored Skeptic, Shoe and Head, and all the big people who are going to this Mytholist Milwaukee, right? Say one of them gets censored. Right? Say Blur gets censored, right? Do you think those other 6 people are going to say, no, we don't care if you're going to pay us, we're going to walk out in support of Blur? It'll never happen.
Some would.
But it has happened all throughout history. Like,
Exactly.
look at the union movements of America. It happened. People
Yes,
gave
but
up their
it's different.
paychecks and walked
Yes,
out.
but yes, but that's different. That is an actual real world. I mean, again, we are not
It's
a real world thing.
It's
We are a what's the word?
Wait a minute though. Tell Mundane
virtual.
Matt. Tell Mundane Matt, who's making all his money on this platform, that he's not in the real world. Tell that to Tim Pool. Tell that to Sargon. I mean, come on, man. This is the real world now. We gotta realize that.
Yes, but you have to remember, as I think it was AMC made this point earlier on, or maybe no, actually it was 40. I think YouTube could disappear tomorrow, and we'd all go on with our lives.
Not all of
that's different if an entire industry. Yes, but the majority of us would.
I think if a lot of people actually lost YouTube as a platform, I think a lot of people generally would be very, very pissed off. And I think there would generally be a uproar. I honestly think that the idea of the freedom of speech, because if you think about it, you've got the makeup channels, you've got fucking everything that people are making money off. It's their livelihoods. It's not just a political point. It's not just to this genre. We're only thinking about our own genres. YouTube is a massive genre. Pranking videos, people that do lots of different stuff, cats for God's sake. You've got so many different points of view on this platform that we're only thinking generalizations of our own points, but everybody's starting to get monetized. Everybody's starting to get censored to a point. And you have to realize that that's a massive platform. That's a massive amount of people.
Yes, but as we've seen, people have got Patreons and Hatreons, and this is one thing that's really starting to get in my fucking wick, which is why I'm going to start unsubscribing from certain channels. But every now, the first thing isn't let's get on with the story. Here's a word from our fucking sponsors. The amount of channels I'm going to unsubscribe from in the next fucking month is unreal.
Well, that's how they make money now, boys. That's how they make money.
Yeah, but like
your physical livelihood for them.
That's why I don't watch TV anymore, because there's all the fucking adverts. I don't want to sit here and...
You're trying to say that this isn't a case of a real world issue. That's how they make money. If they didn't do that because of YouTube censoring them already, they wouldn't
have to get a real job.
Money. Yeah, but YouTube wouldn't be affected by it. Only them. The ratio, you got to remember that the ratio of power here isn't that in a steel mill, when a steel mill goes on strike, okay, all the profits are gone. All right, the mill workers, the managers, everyone else. All right, it doesn't matter. But with Google, this is a lost program anyway. They are not going to get affected by it in the same way.
They will do if people moan about the bad press of losing the freedom of speech.
Oh, really?
Yes.
They just had a serious problem where a guy is suing them because he got fired for free speech, and has it affected their attitude in any way, shape, or form? And this was less than 6 months ago.
Suing them as well.
That's one guy.
Suing them for freedom of speech.
He's got a lot more. He has generated a lot more press than what we're going to be able to generate, at least in the short term.
How do you know that until it actually happens? Who would know that their one guy would be able to generate so much press? Can you imagine if there was another 4 of the same people that were doing the same thing? How much press and how much power?
The only reason he got that kind of press has to do with the circumstances around it and the.
Wait a minute, though.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Wait, though. 40. Go ahead. I've been cutting you off. Go for it.
No, it's fine. It's okay. Don't worry about it, dude. But here's the thing. Someone else has been suing YouTube. There's a YouTube channel called Zombie Go Boom. You know what they do? They fucking explode zombie dummies, right? They like hack them to bits with like swords, and they use like funny fucking exploding arrows, right? It's just a funny it's a funny channel, so you can like, you know, what zombie weapons are best to use in the apocalypse, like chainsaw bayonets and shit like that, right? They're suing YouTube, and they have like millions, or no, I think they almost have 1 million subscribers. I think that's what it is. But YouTube is being sued by people, multiple people, for literally stripping away their livelihood, for violating their own terms of service, their own contracts. But where do you see it on the news? Like, fucking nowhere, because no one gives a shit.
Because they haven't portrayed it.
Yeah.
Every story. Because it hasn't been published.
No, and also
the idea.
Well, no, and I want to throw this out there. YouTube will feel the pressure, and they have shown this. They showed this immediately after the people were saying to take down the NRA's channel, and they did a massive purge of right-wing libertarian content. which I believe I was a part of. I don't think anymore it had anything to do about me getting drunk and playing music. I deleted that video, and I still haven't gotten a copyright strike. So I really do believe it's because we talked about the Parkland shooting. We did. It was in my title. It was in my tags. That's what got me. And
I haven't been.
They have
rant. I even put it in the title and everything.
Yeah, but we were kind of more vulgar than you are, to be honest.
Yeah, we're fucking awful.
That's fair enough.
But but they went through and restored a bunch of accounts after that. Not mine yet, but you know, I'm a small fry. But they did. So they can feel the pressure. And now go ahead, guys.
To be fair, before anybody else goes, speaks, I'm going to get off because it's 12:30 where I am. So I'm going to get off. But thank you very much for chatting to us, and I really enjoyed the conversation.
Sounds good. It was nice.
Have a good night.
Yeah, it was nice talking to you, man. See you in a bit.
No worries. Cheers, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Take on, lad. Fucking puffed her. Top 12 round, too.
It's not that the idea in and of itself is a bad idea. Okay, it's just a matter of how are you going to coalesce this into a powerful enough movement, and you're never going to get a powerful enough movement without leadership, in my opinion. And you got to have a core of leadership. They've got to be dedicated to it, and it's got to be broad based, and people have got to be willing to take action. And I'll be honest with you, I don't see people willing to take action. I see a few people here and there. I see people grumbling here and there. But overall, I don't sense it. I don't sense the outrage.
Well, I'm outraged. I'm pissed off, motherfucker. I want to yell out my window and throw my computer into the yard the last few days. I've been pissed. I haven't even been watching YouTube, man. Have you even seen me on Discord, really? No. like, I've been pissed. Yeah, I've been in a shitty fucking mood, man.
And you also rail against Lincoln, for crying out loud.
Well, fuck him too. Don't get me started on Lincoln. But
I'm sorry, Ahmad, but the proper word for what you were doing was sulking. Not pissed.
Hey. Fuck off. I binge watched some Star Trek and messed with my new phone. Whatever. Sue me.
Oh. Well,
all right. So, I mean,
this one to death. What's the next subject?
Oh, all right. I got one. All right. So this is out of Elko, Nevada. My best friend actually lives over there, and he sent me this article. So, how many casinos have successfully been robbed? I mean, seriously, not very many, right?
I don't think a casino's actually ever been robbed.
I
might be wrong.
There's robberies that take place in casinos all the time. People don't realize it.
I just want to break in a moment here. I'm sorry, MC, but there's someone claiming to be me, and it's not me. So, Omega, could you speak, please, so we can hear your voice?
Oh, shit.
It's me, voice.
Oh,
it's Orion.
Oh, it's Orion.
It was Orion. I could tell by the avatar. I knew it was him.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought that was voice. I was like, what the fuck?
I'm sorry, all Star Troopers look alike to me.
All right, so you racist. No. All right, so this is out of the Elko Daily Free Press. This is in Elko, Nevada. Robbers pepper spray Elko Casino patrons, flee, and then burn vehicle. Like out of a Hollywood movie, guys. So, Elko, police are searching for two suspects who robbed a Dottie's casino on Mountain City Highway after spraying employee and patrons, whatever, Patreons, with one of my patrons. Yeah, there you go. That's the one. Thank you. That's why I keep you around, MC. Teach me how to talk. No. All right. After spraying employees and patrons with what might have been bear mace, Elko Police Lieutenant Mike, fuck his last name, said the suspects entered the Dottie's in the Smith Shopping Center at about 6:50 a.m. Friday. The robbers used a chemical agent, probably bear mace, to disable the employees and patrons, and got away with an undisclosed amount of money. Fuck his last name, told the Elko Daily Free Press. A bear spray can have chemical concentrations that are much higher than pepper spray used for regular defense. A few minutes after they fled the casino in a vehicle, police and firefighters were called to Dada Drive on a report of a car fire. The robbers are believed to have set fire to the vehicle to conceal evidence, possibly fleeing from there. And police are reviewing for surveillance video from the shopping center for the robbers, but fuck my last name said they are where concealed their identities. Are short, right to the point. I say we ban bear mace, cars, and flamethrowers. What say you?
Yes, that's obviously much like Nacho Free. I know someone that used to work at a casino. We should ban bear mace, you guys.
Well, no, and I do actually. I am not going to say what I do know, but I know some details about it because my best friend's girlfriend works there. I'm not CNN. I'm not going to scoop my homie, but I do have somebody directly affected by this. And I really feel that bear mace, fuck off if you get eaten by a bear. It should be banned. God damn it.
Yeah,
I can't even say that with a straight face.
Do you know someone, Mad Dodge? Were you adversely affected by this scenario? That didn't affect
I
you?
have the text messages to prove it, actually.
Well, no, don't actually show us, but
God.
I think there's a bit of a difference between getting sprayed with mace and choking for a while and getting shot with a bullet. There's a reason why in the military they have you go through a CS chamber.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Well, bear mace is much stronger chemical agent than regular mace. You heard it in the article, guys. It is assault mace.
Yeah, and CS is considered a freaking weapon of mass destruction according to the UN. Okay, so I'm sorry.
Wow.
I'm sorry if I don't give you guys a whole lot of sympathy about getting sprayed with mace. Yes, it hurts.
No,
yes, it
bear
can
mace.
be
It hurts. No, this is assault mace. This is assault mace, okay?
It doesn't matter.
This mace was used to assault.
No, it's even in a scary container. The container is scary. Have you seen this assault mace?
It comes in a big black canister. It's terrifying.
Yeah, it is terrifying, and it says bear mace on the side. Oh my god, we can't have it. No, I want a hearing. Damn it! I'm trying so hard, guys. I'm trying
to try and draw an equivalency there to that versus being shot. I mean, come on.
Well, it's horrible. No, what if you have asthma? You can die, MC. You can die from this assault mace.
Yeah, MC. You can get killed by assault mace. Do you want to get killed by assault bear mace?
I think I'd rather be killed by assault bear mace rather than the frickin' bear, if you want to ask me honestly. I think while the bear chews on you and it leaves your body there so it can eat you later would have a different kind of an effect on you.
Well, I think you're also ignoring the fact that gasoline was used to set this car fire. Gasoline is used to set all sorts of fires, all sorts of arsons every year. It's assault gasoline, and it needs to be regulated and controlled. I don't believe you should be able to buy gasoline until you're 21. And this assault bear mace needs to be removed from every Walmart in the world, especially Alaska, because those poor polar bears are being assaulted by this assault mace.
Make suggestions
this is horrible
to people who will take it seriously.
God, you're right. This is all satire. You're right.
You making that comment, live in Oregon where you finally can pump your gas, and now you pretty much guaranteed you'll never be able to pump your gas again.
I know, right? I'll give it the wrong idea here. This is political satire.
Or
But
is it?
what about assault cars? Yeah, what about assault cars? Those older cars are really heavy and they don't break apart as easily. So they are assault weapons. Those black old T-birds, they are horrible, and they're gas guzzlers. Like, we got to regulate this gas. What if they fill up that gas tank and then siphon some out for their evil arson plans? You know, they're going to use bear mace and assault gas and an assault Thunderbird. It's going to be pandemonium, guys.
Yeah, are they gonna mug a gas station with their assault knives?
Oh, don't get me started on the assault knives. Those scary butterfly knives. Oh my god. How can they even sell those still?
What did I just walk into with this assault knives?
It's okay. Assault knives are very tactical. They have red dots and they have grenade launchers attached to them.
Do they have bump stocks?
Yes. Bump stocks are common.
I take it this is what they use to rob the
Mad
casino.
Dodge went on a tirade, and it just hasn't stopped.
Oh, it's going to continue. Matt Barkley. Matt, you are so right, and I'm glad you were the first moderator on Redeye Live. No, people choke on bubble gum, and that gum, that big red gum in that red scary package is assault gum. We need to get rid of it. This is insanity. Our children are dying from assault gum and assault gasoline.
Dude,
what the fuck, guys?
The fucking next one. Some peanuts are salted. We need to ban assault peanuts.
Oh god, this is great. I need to make a parody channel where I'm just an SJW railing against
basically
everything.
you want to ban, chemical weapons, like one substance that kills probably more people in the world than any other substance known is hydrogen dioxide. So let's ban hydrogen dioxide, okay?
Yes.
Actually, I read a report, and this was actually in, what was it, Daily Mail, where a woman actually died because she was allergic to dog semen. So we have to.
I don't
wait
want
a
to go
minute.
any further. We don't need any more explanation.
No, I need more.
Yes, she got it. She got it where you think she got it. Yes.
Well, okay. No, I draw the line there.
You wanted
my
it.
dog's
You
not even sick. I
demanded
don't
he
even-
speak, and you freaking now go, wait a minute, let's draw a line here. It's a bit too late now, isn't it?
Yeah, I love how you draw the line. I love how you draw the line at assault semen. That's how
Hang on, there'll be feminists who think that's real.
You're going to convince feminists to try it. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that woman.
Well,
was
come on,
empowered.
like, have you seen the modern feminists?
All
They
you
all
have
have
to do
try
is-
dog semen because they can't get the real stuff.
It's not that. It's just you have to say it gives them a better orgasm. I guarantee you, Lacey Green will be there
Oh
like
my god.
that.
Oh shit, guys! We need to ban. I mean, seriously, I'm about ready to just ban air. I mean, this is getting ridiculous. There's so many chemicals in our air. How dare people smoke cigarettes 10 miles away? You know, that doesn't dissipate. It floats all the way to my house.
What about all that pollen
Those
from those
evil
freaking
bastards.
trees that grow around in your area? I say we freaking ban the forest and
Oh.
just cut it down and clear
You're
cut
right.
it.
Yeah, and that would stop the assault wildfires, right? These evil wildfires.
You know what else we should ban, Mod? Ban humans. humans kill each other. We should ban all humans.
Just ban assault humans.
And now we've turned
Well,
it around
wait,
into your
what
new
is the assault-
campaign. See what happens. See what happens with memes. Isn't here to sit up there and speak for the campaign.
I
That goes on a rant.
know.
Next thing you know, there goes your political campaign career.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Where's my campaign manager to ring me back in?
Good Lord.
Oh, come on. That was funnier than a TV show. Come on.
Oh,
A ban of salt mace. That's good.
well, you do realize what hydrogen dioxide is.
No, actually, I'm chemically retarded.
H2O.
Oh, oh, okay. Well, you could have just fucking said that. Oh, that makes
Well,
sense. Yeah.
you
Well, I said it
know,
wrong actually, but
well, our plants need fuck. What's in Gatorade? They need Gatorade, pretty much. Like, so we should ban water. We just spray all the plants with Gatorade. Everything will be okay. I swear.
Gatorade on trees, awesome.
I didn't come up with that myself. That's idiocracy. So I can't take credit for that joke.
dihydroxide is how I should have said it. But it's okay. Anyway.
Anyway, why are we banning things? How did we get on to bannings? I thought we were talking about a casino getting robbed.
Yeah, actually, so they took quite a bit of money and they haven't been caught at all. Like they said, they're looking for 2 suspects. I would bet you there's 3 or 4 because they had to have the backup car. What do you guys think? To get serious, since we're
It
back
doesn't
to
have to
actual.
necessarily be 3 or 4, although it wouldn't surprise me if it was. It is going to be somebody obviously that knows the casino though, because from at least from the reading the article, it seems like they got cash, right? And in order to get cash, you got to be able to get back there to get the cash. You got to know how to get it.
Yeah, and I think I'm not sure. Once again, I'm just speculating here. I do believe they stole the cash from the machines, which means they had a knowledge of how to open the slot machines. That's a clue there for the police in Elko, I believe.
Well, yeah, I mean, so they're obviously looking for somebody that's knows the processes and probably had been employed in that casino previously.
Oh, come on, it's easy to open a fucking slot machine. Anybody with sledge can do it.
All I have to do is spray out a little bear mace and the freaking thing just melts.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that assault bear mace.
Sorry. I had to go there.
I honestly don't get it.
You honestly don't get it.
And instead of using chloroform, they use the dog semen.
Oh, Jesus. You take the bear mace and mix a little dog semen in it. It's just like the frickin' Predator on Alien, where it just drips and just settles to the floor.
Oh, God. Oh, I'm gonna clip the shit out of what you just said.
MC, I saw that you posted a few stories. Do you want to talk about one of those? You don't have to read the article. Just bring the general premise.
What story did I post? I remember. Yeah, in the Washington Times, they apparently one of the officials in the state of Pennsylvania just recently admitted in testimony that there are over 100,000 non-citizens registered in the state of Pennsylvania to vote.
Oh my God.
Okay. And of course, this was picked up by the right-wing groups. Obviously, it was in Breitbart, and obviously now it's in the Washington Examiner. And this is a real story. And there's a group suing to try and say, we want the voter rolls. Now, so far, Pennsylvania's been saying, no, we're not going to allow to give the voter rolls. Well, now they don't have an excuse anymore because they've got a guy basically saying that the voting rolls are so flawed. All right. With 100, think about that, 100,000 non-citizens are registered to vote. Now, we don't know how many of those are quote-unquote illegal aliens. All right? I mean, there's no way of knowing that. But the fact that you got 100,000 non-citizens on the voter rolls, if 1 in 10 of those people voted, okay, that's 10,000 people. That can easily swing a presidential election.
MC, you know it's most likely going to be like 9 out of 10.
Well, frankly, I suspect it'll be just because of the demographics and how things work. I suspect it'll be closer to like 30 or 40,000. All right, it is going to be more than 10. I do suspect that, but I honestly don't expect it to be 90. But I mean,
remember,
is
Hillary
it
won the
possible?
popular vote.
All right. Well, and okay, if that's what's going on in Pennsylvania, what's going on in your home state there, 40? Because you have the same freaking process, and you've got millions of illegal aliens.
Dude, no, don't even get me started. I bet you anything that this is happening in a majority of shall we say, certain states.
Well, it isn't just that. In the county, in your largest county, LA County, right? You had 130% voting.
Yeah.
Now, you want to explain how that works? In the largest county, you had 130% voting in 2016.
Is that just one county?
That's one county.
That's one county. Yeah, I know exactly what he's talking about too.
Now, how is that even possible? And yet people go, there's obviously nothing. The largest county, LA County, the county that has the most people. I think almost all of frickin' Hillary's advantage could be dissipated by just taking care of that county in San Francisco, which was also way over.
Yeah,
it wasn't 130, but it was also over.
No, it was in like the mid to late. I think it was like 107% or something like that, if I remember correctly. But that's and those are just the counties that are over their voting percentage. I mean, that's not taking into account all the cities like down south that had like 80 to 90% voter turnout, which is extremely abnormal. During your average election season, I mean, you might get like 40 to 50, maybe if it's like super tenuous, you might get like 60% voter turnout, because a majority of people don't actually fucking vote. So to see 80 to 90% voter turnout, that's odd. Something's wrong.
What the hell are people gonna say when they say, why the hell were they registered in the first place when they obviously shouldn't be?
Well, no, I think a lot of times, first off, well, let me real quick, MC. First off, 40, you're right. Even here in Oregon with mail-in ballots, the election is usually only 40 to 50%, and we don't even have to go anywhere. So, and also, I want to point out, I had to cough. That's why I muted. My bad, MC. Sorry. They're letting the dead vote. So you're registered to vote, and then you die. They're just using that. Excuse me.
Well, at least it's not in Chicago where the dead come from the grave 3 and 4 years dead to vote.
Yeah, but if you're registered to vote and then you die, and then your family member uses your vote or whatever, that's a big issue. That's voter fraud on a couple levels, right?
Yeah, it is voter fraud, but I suspect that the problem is the motor voter rules. Right? This is happening. This happened in Pennsylvania strictly because of the motor voter rules, where when you registered to drive, there was a little button that said, would you like to register to vote? Vote, get your registration in now. Okay, click. That's all it took to register to vote, and that is a major problem. It's rife for all sorts of things, and when you have the largest county, LA County, with 100, where the registered vote and the actual vote tallies, the vote tallies are 130% over what the voting is. 100% would be this, and this is one of the largest counties. This is millions of people now. Close to I think it's close to 2 million people in that area, in that county.
LA County, yeah, I think so. I don't think that's even including like suburban areas or anything.
You're talking 300,000 people voted that weren't even registered to vote in the county. Now, how is that possible? Okay, it's to say that there's no voter fraud going on there. Can you explain how 300,000 people in a single county voted, all right, that they aren't even registered to vote in that county? Because that had to be the case.
They were giving out cookies.
Either that or people were allowed to vote 2 and 3 and 4 times, which is just as bad.
No, that never happens. But I went out in the chat. Straight Sith Mail. MC, the Democrats are trying to rig the game. The dead voting that's 100% fraud. He also followed up with, but he addressed you, so I'll let you respond in a second. I would say though that both parties have rigged the game. As a libertarian standpoint, the gerrymandering makes it impossible almost for a third-party candidate to win in any district because both parties came together and gerrymandered this bullshit. Have you seen the voting districts? Why are they not just a county? You know, Lane County voting district. That's not how they do it.
Gerrymandering is not done to between the two parties to make sure a third party doesn't do it. What ends up happening with gerrymandering is what always happens with gerrymandering is whoever is in charge of the states at that time, whoever, you know, whatever party controls that state, when the new census comes out, if there's a change in the representation for your state, those districts have to get redrawn. And what the party in power of that state do is they say, okay, I'm going to redraw it in my favor. It's not to the exclusion of the other party. No one's even considering a third party. I hate to tell you this, Mad. You can take a look at the number of votes the Libertarians got, and it's not even 5%.
I'll take a look at that number.
Voice
you. It's pretty damn 5%. Close. It's pretty damn close to 5%. And Orion, no, I don't have to shut up. This is my channel. But no.
Can you imagine, Voice, if he came over here, voted in our election, and they decided that we need to have an investigation? There are a lot of right-wing immigrants.
I tell you this. I'm being serious here. If you guys can crowdfund me a ticket, I'll do it just for the fucking hell of it. I will come over to California and fucking vote.
And the next thing you know, all of us are visiting the freaking jail cell, courtesy of Mr. Mueller, for interfering with an election. It's called collusion. Yeah, I don't think that's a good idea, dude. I point this out. I do point this out because I hate to tell you this, or hate to tell my opponents this, the political opponents on the other side of this, is if Mueller's idea, this idea that Mueller's using right now, where he's indicting these 13 freaking Russians for interference in the elections, what do you think is going to happen when states that are heavily red, okay, end up with an immigration rally in their state? What's to prevent their district attorney from immediately grabbing those people, all right, and saying, all of you have violated election laws for collusion or trying to interfere with the U.S. election, and throwing you in jail for that? Screw it. Screw the whole idea that we're going to, you know, that the INS is going to come get you. We're going to come get you. We're going to indict you, and then we're going to put you in our jails. And it got quiet.
Again, you know, can we not just, you know...
No. How is it exactly that the voting record is always blamed on illegal immigrants? Is there any specific numbers to back that up? I mean, I'm all for closing down the border and having it regulated.
Well, okay,
that's fine.
in order
but
to
how
get
are people,
those...
Wait,
in order,
how are people without driver's licenses, without green cards, without anything, voting in our election? I have to show my ID in Oregon to vote. I have to write down my ID number and show it, you know.
Right, but there are some states that don't require you to show ID in order to vote.
Yeah, I was about to say some states don't allow that. And doesn't some parts of California issue out certain kinds of IDs to illegals.
Yeah, they
Actually,
issue driver's licenses to illegals.
No, Omega's right here because I saw it in Tucker Carlson there a couple of days ago. There is actually a state, and I can't remember the fucking name of it, but they are going to start giving out ID cards to illegal immigrants.
I'm pretty sure that's California. Actually, hold on, let me look that up.
California will issue driver's licenses to illegal aliens.
Yeah, I know that's
so
true.
does New Mexico.
Well, I've done farm work, and the only way for you to get a job to show your license and social security card and/or green card or workers visa. That's the only way they hire you, and that was Stallbush, which is a giant farm over here.
Yeah,
like they have 4 or 5 different farms.
I can tell you right now that just going by over here, I can guarantee you the number of people working in America who are working off the books would probably surprise you.
Yeah, I can tell you how that happens right now. Yeah, Mad Dodge, I'm sure that was your experience. But what makes you think that's the guy who looks like he's Spanish' experience?
Fair point. I suppose they do check my ID and social security card because they know I have one. But in the private interview room, who knows, right? I see your point.
Here we are. New Chicago ID law created for New Chicago ID card created for undocumented immigrants will be accepted for voter registration.
Yeah. So there you go.
So the idea, and when you say what are the numbers, where are those numbers? Well, let's talk about that for a second. There was somebody who put together a panel to try and investigate voter fraud. And what did people say? Oh, it's a violation of civil rights to see the voting rolls.
No, yeah, see, and that's where me and you are in sync, because that's bullshit. No, you need to be able to read the law, and you need to be able to read English to vote. I think English should be the national language.
You can't have someone be able to read the language, because, 40's here.
Well, I guess 40 can have an interpreter. I'll read the
I'm sorry, 40.
Goodness me.
Oh, I was gonna say, did you really hurt his feelings? Like, he's not talking now.
Yeah, I guess because I'm from California, I guess I'm just de facto a Mexican immigrant. Is that it?
Let's be honest.
Either that or you were the one running around setting the frickin' fires and trying to burn the state down. We were giving you the benefit of the doubt. You just didn't realize it. Were you burning them out for the Empire? Is that what's going on?
I'm not saying that I was trying to burn down Southern California. I'm not saying that.
He just wanted the picture of him with the fiddle, burning in the background.
but you're not saying that either, right? I'm just asking for a friend.
Yeah, for a friend. Does your friend work at the NSA? Is that it?
Unfortunately, 40 burnt down the wrong part of California. Sorry, he did not burn down the wrong part of California.
Well, actually, a lot of those fires actually got pretty damn close to major cities. Was it L.A.?
Not close enough.
Well, I mean, no, literally, they were literally in like the suburbs of a lot of these cities. There's fucking one city. It wasn't fucking L.A. It was, fuck, I can't remember the name of the city, but it was literally burning down homes on the edge of the city.
And there was 40. Where's that gas truck when you need one?
Yeah, I was standing.
Why do you think his car broke down and run out of gas?
Yeah, I was standing outside SoCal with my assault gasoline. Just
I fucking told you guys. I fucking told you.
He ran out of that bear base and just went wild.
Yeah.
40, you got to stop huffing the bear mace, all right? It's a problem. This is your intervention.
Yeah, see, that's the key. You huff the regular bear mace, but you use the assault bear mace to burn down cities.
We care about you, 40, and we want you to be okay. I know. Okay, I'm done with intervention jokes.
It's already too late. He's already got the AIDS.
No, you got to admit, 40, that this started when you were like, I miss snow.
Yeah.
And you were talking about how your hands would bleed and everything, and we're talking about how wonderful it would be to see it happen again.
Oh God.
What makes me think that 40 is a bit kinky? You know, maybe he gets a few lashes now and again just to.
Oh, so that's where the freaking dog semen story came from. You see what kind of rise you could get out of it, bro? Places out here testing the water, huh?
Yeah. I'll have you know, I wasn't even in the one that brought up the assault semen. He's always the one bringing up the weird shit.
Well, and frankly, it was Mad Dog that said, "No, I want to hear the story." I'm like,
After 6 kids, he's happy to hear any kind of sex story.
Oh my God.
I'm not gonna, there's so many places to go around with that. I'm just gonna let that drop.
All right. So, any last news stories, or we about tapped out? I'm down to keep going, guys. This is the first stream on my new channel, so we can keep going for a little bit.
I don't mind. I'm not doing anything.
I want to see stories. Hang on, I'll do a wee look.
Let's quickly delve into the little bag of story tricks here.
Yeah,
I'll just type in dog semen and see what comes up.
Oh my God.
So who
No,
here
don't do
has,
that.
Has already bought Coffee's book.
Oh, I haven't bought it yet. I need to.
I have
till I get paid.
Yeah, I have to wait a little bit. I'm gonna buy the signed copy, and I'm gonna make him write fucking Mad Dodge's channel is way better than mine, and then his name. That's the autograph I want.
I'm gonna make him write assault. I'm gonna make him write assault dog semen.
I would pass. But
Well, that's the whole point of buying the signed copy, right? We get to make him sign whatever we want.
Yeah. What's he gonna do? Say no to us?
Well, here's a story, right? The Georgia legislature has now set up. They're taking away the exemption on fuel for airlines. And of course, this is was specifically targeted toward their biggest airline user, which happens to be Delta. All right, out of Hartsfield Airfield. So, and their reasoning for doing this is because the Delta has refused to allow the NRA to use discounts on their airlines. This also matches United. So since they wanted to get political, since Delta Airlines wanted to get political, the politicians in legislature in Georgia said, okay, well, fine, we'll just remove your tax exemption. Now, and this all for Delta Airlines said that the NRA discount has only ever been used for 13 tickets. Well, then what were you trying to say? No, you were just trying to virtue signal. And now look how many millions of dollars it's going to cost you in taxes. Good planning there.
Fuck Trump's.
I'm sure that company Dix did the same thing.
Well, Dix I kind of expected, but Dix is going to see a revenue drop again. They've been political for a long time, actually.
What do they do think is gonna happen with all this shouting?
What?
With the shouting about guns.
Sure.
Oh, fuck, boys.
Well, you want to talk about shouting about guns, though. Trump has pretty much said, "Let's take the guns from anybody who's quote unquote mentally ill, and then sort it out later." Well, does that count our troops coming home with PTSD? The people that we send out there to fight with guns, they're going to come home and get guns taken away. What about the man who signs up at 18 to fight for his country? He's not allowed to buy an assault weapon until he's 21. An assault weapon. This fucking term pisses me off. There's no real such thing. It's a semi-automatic rifle. Well, I use it because they use it. You gotta use their terms to argue with them.
No, you don't. You don't have
Okay, well, just to let you know that Critter, apparently, because of all this backlash, the NRA in a spike in membership in Florida.
There we go.
I think that's fucking brilliant.
Well, it did cause a spike in it, and unfortunately, I mean,
See,
the NRA generally does a lot of good things, but it doesn't always do a lot of good things, right? And one of the things, I mean, I was a member of the NRA for about 4 years. The thing that got me tired of it is just getting every other week you were getting a flyer, you know, saying, "Give us money because we need to fight this. Give us money, we need to fight that."
Yeah.
And you just get tired of all these stupid freaking campaigns. And I support the Second Amendment. I support the campaigns to put it out there, but there comes a point of beating it to death. And Wayne LaPierre, if he'd ever get his head out of his ass, would understand that, right? And then it was they went a little overboard with some of their commentary when they were calling the FBI a bunch of jackbooted thugs and such. Or was it the DEA? But so I just basically said, okay, I'm just not going to renew my membership.
Are they wrong?
Yeah, they're wrong. I mean, it's not that people don't do bad things. It's not that the government doesn't do bad things. They use, you know, very nefarious tactics from time to time. But to call them jackbooted thugs, they're not stormtroopers. No.
Are they a step below that? Are they like trench raiders or something? Maybe.
They're more along the lines of mafiosos, to be honest. They at least dress nice.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. What I think is funny is that, you know, the NRA, excuse me, for touting all the, you know, fighting for gun rights and all that stuff. I mean, they didn't do fucking shit in terms of, I mean, maybe they were lobbying, but they didn't really get shit done when Obama was in power, for instance. I mean, that if only that really shows how toothless they are.
I disagree with you. They stopped almost every one of his initiatives. They literally did. He got nothing through Congress.
By lobbying Congress?
Yeah, they basically locked it up so that he couldn't get any kind of bill through Congress. And that's when they controlled the legislature in the first 2 years. You got to remember that the Democrats had a filibuster-proof majority in the first 2 years of the Obama administration.
Yeah, I remember.
Okay. Believe me, guns were a wet dream for them, and they couldn't even get that passed. Gun control's been on their freaking docket for just as long as freaking, you know, healthcare has been. So the NRA is effective. Now, the NRA doesn't spend the kind of money. I mean, take it for example. In the last 20 years, the NRA has spent approximately $200 million on political campaigns and political ads. $200 million. That's a hell of a lot of money in 20 years.
Hang on, MC. Get the word right. It's called bribes.
Okay. The labor unions spent $1.6 billion last year. So
they spent 1.6 billion. You said last year.
1.6 billion.
Wow.
So that tells you where. Well, first of all, if you are in a union, it shows you where your money's going.
Well, that's it. When you find out you've no pension, you know why.
All right, but it also tells you for political races, not just the presidential race. Obviously, they were involved in all the other races as well, from dog catcher on up to the presidential race. But unions spent $1.6 billion in a single year, in a single campaign. That shows you the difference in monetarily between labor unions and the NRA. The difference is that the NRA has a lot of people behind it. It literally is millions and millions of people that are part of the NRA. Right? It's a grassroots organization, and it's very broad based. And there's certain areas that it's more broad based than others. Not the least of which is and there's states like Pennsylvania, which was a swing state this year, all right, on this last election rather, is heavily backs the NRA, right? So I really think Trump's making a major mistake by some of the commentary that he made. Now he's walked a lot of that back today after his quote unquote meeting with the NRA, all right, but it didn't do it. It was a fight he didn't need to get into, and I really think that he had made a mistake by how he had gone about it.
Well, let's be honest. You guys know I'm not a Trump supporter. I didn't vote for him. In his Democratic route, he was in New York Democrat 30 years. All right, does a leopard really lose his spots?
Well, as long as he backs down and nothing happens with this, I don't really have a problem. Now we'll see what ends up coming out of this, right? Because I really don't think anything's coming. I'll be frank with you. I don't think anything's coming out of this. I really don't. I don't think you're going to get any kind of legislative movement. I think it's the du jour of the moment, and nothing's going to happen.
But I don't necessarily think the NRA has as much power as you think it does. Because really, the NRA is just I don't know. They really when it came to Obama, I think he put all his chips in the healthcare basket. I think if he would have focused on gun control instead of healthcare, he would have gotten the gun control through and not Obamacare. That's what I was trying to say. Sorry, I was a little scatterbrained there.
I don't think that there's certain senators, all right, that are Democrat senators that would have had to put their elections on the line, and they weren't going to do that.
Sorry to step away for a sec, but the one question I wanted to ask you was, well, the NRA is doing lots of fundraising, and they're trying to block things Obama was doing, rather. Excuse me. But are they only stopping federal laws? Because at least in California, it doesn't seem like any of their lobbying has done any good. I mean, especially in a lot of these blue states.
Within certain blue states, then what they do is they launch lawsuits. Now in California, the problem is that they also have to deal with the Ninth Circus.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they've got to push things all the way up to the Supreme Court, and the NRA has pushed things to the Supreme Court, all the way to the Supreme Court in the past, right? So they do things like that, but in regards to what state legislatures are doing, it takes a long time to take a case through the state legislatures and then get it from there into the federal courts, and then from there to get it to the Supreme Court. It is very difficult to do.
Yeah.
And that takes literally years, close to a decade in some cases.
Yeah. Well, that probably explains it then, because I mean, for all the talk of the NRA defending people's rights and everything like that, that was something I've heard for quite a number of years. But I mean, here's the thing: I tried to get a gun, I think, like 2 or 3 years ago. So over a period of 2-3 years, it has been increasingly difficult, and like the fees have only gotten bigger. The regulations have only become more numerous. And it's like, fuck's sake, with all the fees, I couldn't even afford it 2-3 years ago. I'm sure as hell not going to be able to get a gun now.
Well, 40. May I ask, how much does the background check cost there? Here, it's only $25.
Oh god, it's like fucking, I think it was like 50 or 60 bucks or some stupid shit like that.
What does it take? Walk me through. What does it take to actually get a gun in California?
Yeah, I'm literally about to look that stuff up really quick. Give me a sec.
But yeah, so I can walk into Bimart. I can buy a crappy shotgun, right? Like the first one I ever bought. It was only $180 with the background check. I'm looking at $195 or $205. That's it. And then I walk out of I buy the ammo right there also. I, go to the front desk after the background check is passed. They hand me the gun and my ammo, and I walk home, or I put it in my car and drive home. That's it. It takes about 20 minutes. Now, they still do a background check. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I think it should be a lot quicker, actually. But it is only about 20 minutes and like $200 for a 12 gauge. It's not that much.
It just depends on the state. And unfortunately for 40 ounce, he can't go to California or up to Oregon or over to Arizona.
He can't?
No.
That's illegal to go buy it. Like if he's up here visiting me, he can't buy a gun and take it home. And also 40 or not 40, but MC, you're in the hangout with Wolfshot. Throw her the link if you would. She's asking if anybody's streaming. So we are. So throw her the link, please.
Just to clarify, I can't go buy guns from other states, but technically speaking, I can buy parts. So a nice little a nice little workaround there, I suppose. Okay, so
well, that seems ridiculous to me. Like really, you can't go. Like I can't take you to Cabela's and pick out a couple guns if we wanted to. I mean, it's tax season. Why couldn't we do that? That's ridiculous.
I mean, I suppose I could buy like a shotgun receiver or something, but I certainly couldn't buy like a shotgun itself.
Well, then how is the Commerce Clause working there then? They're not making trade regular between the states. You know what I mean? They're actually impeding trade when it comes to firearms between the states. That's not what the Commerce Clause was put in the Constitution for. MC, I thought you would jump. Oh, you said it right back. I was gonna say I said Commerce Clause and MC didn't respond.
Let me see.
Did you get the numbers of how much it actually costs to buy a gun though?
Yeah, I'm looking at some numbers right now.
I don't get how you get these people, kids, whatever you want to call them, who are so devoted to their insanity.
Well, is that not the public school system and indoctrination by the teachers to the students, especially in these liberal areas?
Here we go. Okay. So in the state of California, there are different kind of permit types. There's the handgun safety certificate, which is required before the purchase of a firearm. That's going to cost you $25. $25 fee allows the following applicants to take the test twice. Additional fees may be required for background checks. And then down below that, all right, so you're talking about $25 for just not even concealed carry, by the way. And it says concealed carry may cost an additional $44 in state fees, $100 for fingerprint testing, and another $100 for a typical background check, totaling around $200 or so if you want to get a concealed carry permit. That's just to get the permit. That's not even including fees or anything like that. Psychological testing can be up to $150 a pop, depending on the kind of yearly renewal license that you want to get. It's going to cost anywhere between $44 and $88. So you're literally, if you want to get a handgun, you're literally talking about a couple $100.
What are we talking about right now?
Oh my, well, the crazy gun laws in California. Holy shit. Did you just, like, psychological background check? Dude, I could walk into a pawn shop, buy a 38 snub, and be out the door in 30 minutes. Dude, there is no psychological background check.
Dude, no,
what the fuck is going on down there?
You want to know the crazy part? This is as of February 6, 2013, and fees have most definitely increased. So if you want to get concealed carry, you might be looking, let's be generous and just say $250, maybe, or more.
Well, and that's on top of the price of the gun, right? Because I told you, okay, the gun I bought was a New England single loader breech action shotgun, 12 gauge. All right. It was a nice gun for my first gun I ever bought. I enjoyed that gun. It costed $175, $180 and a $25 background check. That's it. But you're talking about, you want to go buy a 9mm, you buy a Beretta. Okay, that's $350. What, $400? And then you're adding $200 and something plus the waiting period and the psychological test. Holy shit. And they want more gun control? How much more in depth do you need to do? Do they need to anal probe you? I mean, what the fuck?
I can tell you, actually, when in the process of purchasing a firearm, you're going to need to pay another $25 fee for a DROS, or dealer record of sales. If you're buying a gun from another private party, the gun dealer overseeing the purchase is allowed to charge $10 per firearm, plus state fees.
I need to know in what world a Beretta is $300.
Yeah. Isn't that like
I threw a number out there. I don't know. I threw a number out there. I don't own one.
Like a High Point or some shit would be like $300, but a Beretta, no.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I just threw a number out there.
Are we talking about what Donald Trump said earlier about guns?
Yeah, on the whole, that is what we are talking about, and we're in depth about California, where Fort is at. It's like,
well, no one gives a shit about California. We need to build a wall around California.
I know.
Yeah, but it's almost impossible for 40 ounce to own a gun. No, screw that, though. It's impossible for 40 ounce, or even my aunt who lives in LA, to own a gun in some of the most crime-ridden populations of the country. This is insane. If you ever needed a gun, it would be in Compton.
Okay, so like, take everyone, like all the responsible gun owner like people, they should flee California, give California back to Mexico, and build a wall around it.
I agree.
Fuck it.
We can't do that. There's a lot of gold. There's a lot of gold in the mountains right there bordering Nevada. We can't give up California.
What MC said, sell it back to Mexico.
Yes.
So, 40, is there a timetable on getting a rifle?
You have to be 21.
Bug.
Or do you have to be 30, or what is it?
You have to be 18 to purchase any kind of rifle or shotgun, any form of long gun. You have to
waiting period is what I meant.
Yeah, you have to be 18 to buy a rifle or shotgun, 21 to buy a handgun, and you're looking at fuck, where did it go? I literally just had it up.
You probably have to be 30.
If you fail the test, you can take it again within 24 hours. Shite, I just fucking had it.
So what do we think about raising the age to 21?
I think it's ridiculous. You have to sign up for selective services at 18, which means you can be drafted and own a gun and be given a government gun. So you can't own one. Is ridiculous and insane, Wolfshot.
Yeah, my dad brought that up tonight. He's like, they'd have to make an exception to the military.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, though, we are asking our children to die for us at 18. But God forbid they drink a beer or own a rifle at this point. Forget about the rifle. We'll give it to you for free if you sign up. And
I got to say, we all need, like, I'm not making a generalization, but, well, I am kind of. We all need to stop comparing, like, legislating guns to legislating cars. Because me personally, I do not want my shit to be legislated like a car. Because a lot of
shot, you would have loved my my satire rant earlier. I was talking about assault bear mace and assault gasoline. You would have loved it. Go back and watch the show later. Go ahead. I just want to tell you,
dude, they should ban OC spray. Like that shit is like ammonia piss, like times 10 in your face for days. I would rather get shot. I would rather get shot than fucking OC sprayed.
You heard it here, MC. Guns are less dangerous than.
I'm sorry. I would rather get shot. But that's the other thing. Like in Virginia, it's illegal to maim. So you can't just, like, if someone's. We have castle doctrine now. But, like, if someone's coming onto your property and you shoot them in the kneecap or something, you can get arrested for maiming. Felonious maiming.
So wait a minute, though. So that means I need to shoot them 3 times, center mass, put them down, or do I zombie shoot them?
You have to kill them.
Dude, that's fucked.
Like, they can sue you for maiming.
Wait a minute, though. Wait a minute, though. Nigga was just trying to steal my TV, all right? I don't want him dead. I just want to shoot him in the fucking knee or in the foot.
No, fuck that bitch. You do it fucking, what is that movie? American History X style, and you make them bite the fucking curb. Fuck that shit. No.
Dude, I have to say, that's metal as fuck. That's awesome.
No one fucks with my shit. I worked hard for my shit. Anyways, I'm sorry.
God.
I mean, seriously, though, motherfucker is just some twacked out tweaker stealing your TV. God forbid you shoot him in the arm. No, you got to do 3 times center mass. Put that motherfucker down.
Hell yeah, you do. Fuck that bitch. Don't come in my fucking house. Wrong house, asshole. Don't come in my fucking house.
If you think that the guy's just going to walk out with just your TV and not try and take your life, you're an idiot. And what's more is what
I was
happens,
kind of making jokes, MC. God
what
damn
happens
it.
when he steals your car and you need your car to go to work and stuff, and now you get fired because you can't get to work on time, and your family
MC's
has
all
to
serious and legit. Calm down, MC.
I know. I even did my whole satire rant only like 30 minutes ago. I'm still in a joking mood. Fucking damn, MC.
God. Then he's going to rape your kids. He's going to rape your kids and your wife. Jesus Christ.
Nah, dude, I don't give a fuck, dude. That's so goddamn metal. Like, you have to kill the person breaking into your house. Yep. Like, I'm gonna go the whole 9 yards. I'm gonna dig a World War I style trench, and when they break in through my front door, I'm gonna blow my little British rape whistle and charge over my fucking trench.
I'm just giving them a face full of fucking 12 gauge. That's it.
Yeah. Fucking A. I can see 40 outs. He's the French guy in fucking whatever that movie was. You know, I fart in your general direction. Like, screw you.
Wow.
Holy Grail. Monty Python. Sorry.
Wow. That hurt. That hurt my soul a lot.
Dude, I'm sorry. I apologize.
That kicked me right into my heart right there.
Fuck that French guy, dude. Someone breaks into my house, it's gonna be Battle of the Somme, like fucking 2.0. I'm gonna go over with my fucking bayonet affix, and I'm just gonna stab a motherfucker right in the chest. That's so goddamn crazy.
So your plan is, you know what? I'm bringing me a knife to this gunfight. Good plan, boy. Good plan, bro.
Nah, dude. After minutes after firing 6 million artillery shells, I'm gonna do a charge over my trench. That's pretty much the plan.
Damn right. You're like Stonewall Jackson. Affix the bayonet. Show them Yankees who's boss. Go for it.
I'm gonna grab a
I fully support that.
Like for real. Grab a motherfucking musket. Just fucking yes. Fuck that bitch up. Or an old Henry repeater. Fuck that bitch up.
Oh, dude, no. Get a Craig Jorgensen, a good old fucking.
So the plan here is to go Bernard Getz, right? Just to walk on over to him and go, "You don't look like you're hurt." Blam!
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much.
I think California really should be an open carry state, though. If you look at the crime in the inner cities, it would go down a lot if they were an open carry state. That is a good solution.
Yeah, but the article I was reading was from the Dallas Star about what Trump said, and Trump said that he wanted to push forth an effort to make it legal if you have concealed carry to be in all states.
Yeah, he does want to see reciprocity across state lines for concealed carry.
Yeah, it's called the full faith and credit clause in the fucking Constitution.
Well, I would even argue it's a commerce clause. I would even argue it's a commerce clause to make transactions between states regular, not to regulate them, but to make
the commerce clause enough.
No. The full faith and credit clause is where one state has to recognize documents from another state. That was my argument for gay marriage, actually.
Oh, that's a really interesting way to argue it, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys already won, but that's a really good way to argue that.
You guys, I'm the worst lesbian ever.
You guys.
I'm not gay.
I'm not gay. So
we don't even consider you a lesbian.
I thought you people was a worse phrase. Yeah, I thought you people was a
Stop
worse phrase.
hussing me. Oh. No, seriously, that chat we were having earlier about the lesbians and the Natalie Portman and shit. Yeah, I am a terrible fucking lesbian. I am not a representative of any fucking community. I am the leave me the fuck alone community.
You know what? We were talking about the YouTube union idea earlier. I say you be our union rep. I think you have a great temperament for it. It would be amazing.
Just yell the whole time. Or some shit.
Oh, yeah, and I would trust you with the dues. I don't think you're going to fucking waste that money at all. I mean, you might buy some guns with it. You might embezzle a little. But, we're okay with that.
Oh, no, seriously, I just read the news and be like, this shit's gay. Next. That would be my only commentary. This shit is gay.
The hero we need.
Not all heroes are caves.
The hero for the next generation.
Yeah. Oh, you guys, I don't know if this is satirical or not, but I found this thing. It's called the alt middle. I think it's a joke, but hold on, hear me out. It was a dude with the AR-15 holding a pit bull puppy with a rebel flag and a gay pride flag behind him, and I'm like, I can get behind this.
Oh fuck.
I'm like, all right.
Yo, that guy's hella confused.
Dude, that would be me though. I mean, I have that.
As long as he's willing to save Teddy, I really don't care.
Yeah, I mean, really, I want to bring back #free Stuffy. I think Steve Shives is trapping that poor stuffed animal, and I think he needs to be freed. Poor Stuffy.
Hey, Mad Dog, are you unbanned yet or no?
No, this is my second channel, Wolfshot. Brand new. It's Redeye Live. So the first stream ever on it. Welcome.
Wow, I'm special. Not really.
We always
I see you still have your 12 kids.
Oh yeah. I haven't done the water trick that MC told me about. I feel bad about that. So
holy fuck, I wouldn't trust MC with any water trick. It'd be like waterboarding your fucking kid.
Well, he said that they'll be obedient forever after. I mean, that sounds good.
I'm glad 40 laughed. Thank you, 40. I needed that.
That was fucking funny.
I'm laughing. But I didn't suggest waterboarding. I did suggest pain collars, but that's a different story.
Those fucking pinch collars you see on those fucking pit bulls and shit.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. You know, it's like those little electric fence things where you got the little tweaker in it. You know?
Yeah, dude. Have you? Okay, so my mom was watching Dr. Phil, and she felt the need to call me while it was at work, and tell me this. There's a dude on YouTube named Sexy Vegan. Has anyone heard of this guy?
What the fuck? No.
He legally changed his name to Sexy Vegan, and he tattooed Sexy Vegan on his face and shit.
Oh my god.
I have heard of him, believe it or not.
I'm like, Mom, why are you telling me this? I don't fucking care. So now I have to share my, disparity with you guys. Thanks.
If you want to burn your eyeballs out, just watch one episode of Queer Kid stuff, and you're pretty much done. Sexy Vegan isn't going to bother you a whole hell of a lot.
Dude, is Queer Kid stuff like fucking banned yet, or no?
No. It's not.
Your expectations are way too high.
Obviously.
Teddy didn't vote for Trump, so it's good to go.
Oh my god! Why? A bunch of gun channels I watched on YouTube, they're gone. Fucking all this bullshit. I'm like, can we ban this shit? Because this is not good for anybody.
It's not even good for that stuffed animal Teddy.
Yeah, save Teddy for real. Fucking fuck that dyke ass bitch for real though.
Is she a woman? Is he? Well, whatever.
I don't know
whatever pronoun it is that day.
Dude, that bitch can be like an Apache fucking helicopter. She can go fuck herself. Like for real. Goddamn. Save Teddy. So my father-in-law bought me a LGBT for Trump shirt, and I wore it to a pharmacy, and I was not accosted, but I was verbally like lashed berated by this dude, and he's like, "You're the reason why our country is blah blah blah," and I'm like, "Can you shut the fuck up?" I just want my fucking film.
Oh, yeah, you're talking about your rebel flag tattoo, right?
Oh yeah, that too. No. I was wearing a gays for Trump shirt, and yeah.
Oh.
It was the end of the fucking world for that dude.
No, I remember you telling me about you being attacked over your Confederate flag tat, and I would have been pissed over that too. Like, fuck man.
I wasn't attacked.
And you live in Virginia.
I wasn't attacked. I was grabbed by the arm, but yeah, I mean, that's just how it is now. Like, anyone wearing a Confederate flag shirt or anything is just like fucked.
Not, what's weird though is in Oregon, not so much. There's people with pickup truck with a giant Confederate flag on the back.
Yeah, I dare you. Like I dare you to.
I wear my shirts and shit.
I dare you to go do that down Portland during one of the freaking Antifa rallies.
Oh my god.
Oh, you know what?
No,
I accept that challenge.
If you're going to do it, make it so that we can film it, because I want this on YouTube. This will be amazing.
Well, you do realize that Oregon is open carry. I'll just bring a 38 snub with me on my hip. You're going to yank that rebel flag shirt off me? Come on. Let's see it. Let's see it, buddy.
Just you be prepared to get Spencered.
Yeah, try burning this one, asshole.
Yeah, well, what are you gonna do though? Like, they see the gun on your hip, they're not gonna fuck with you. They're pussies, man. They really are. They couldn't do that shit by themselves. They'll have to rally in big groups.
They will always find one crazed lunatic. Trust me. In those groups, they'll find one crazed lunatic that'll take the bullet for the cause.
What's that bitch's name with the dreadlocks? Moldy Locks? Isn't that what they called her?
Yeah, Moldy Locks.
Dude, that video where she's cold cocked in the face gives me a giggle.
Well, oh my God. I don't believe you should punch socialists just like you shouldn't punch Nazis or commies. You don't punch somebody based on their belief. The non-aggression principle. You try to rip my fucking rebel flag shirt, my Skinner shirt off my back, and I will put 3 in you, center mass. Fuck you.
No, I mean, here's the thing. You shouldn't punch people, but when it happens, it's funny.
It is. I'm sorry. I laughed when Spencer got.
If she's in there mixing it up, oh well.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel about it. You want to mix it up, you're in a riot. Oh well.
That's what we used to say to bitches in fucking mosh pits. Like, when girls would jump in, like the guys would be like, "Well, you're gonna get hit now." I mean, it's a fucking mosh pit, or it's a riot, or it's whatever. You're gonna get hit.
Yeah. You're going in there with the express idea that somehow you're just going to march at an Antifa rally and nothing's going to happen. You're in a riot zone. Understand that you're in a riot zone and you expect to get whacked. Especially when you go in with the attitude, I'm going to get me 100 Nazi scalps, and you emailed that to people.
Yeah, and it honestly doesn't even matter of like the size and scope. I saw a video on Live Leak like a week ago or something like that. I can't remember where it was, but it was 4 or 5, like Trump supporters, and then it was 20 Antifa, right? And these 5 dudes just beat the shit out of this crowd of fucking.
Wasn't the dude like a fucking Somalian or something?
No, it wasn't him. It was some fucking dude in like a Cabela's jacket or something like that.
Dude, I saw like this Somali, like this fucking huge Hawaiian dude just cold cock these like 10-year-old looking motherfuckers at an Antifa rally. I'm like, yeah, I want that guy on my team.
Well, no. This is a real question. How do you guys feel about it when, like, people like Gavin McInnes fight back? He'll straight up fist fight you. He don't give a fuck. I mean, he's proven that.
If people are defending themselves, I'm all for it. That's all I have to say.
I wear a shirt that says "Fight Me." Seriously, I don't fucking care. Like, you want to throw hands? I'll throw hands. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Well, and people like Gavin McInnes, they're not the kind of people that can afford to start a fight because then they look like shit. I mean, they already get shit on a bunch. I mean, imagine if they actually went out and started fight. I mean, they're usually the people that end up finishing the fights.
Yeah, if the thing is that it's, I believe in the concept of peace through superior firepower, and so if you're gonna go there, you'd better be ready to throw down, and you better be ready to bring it heavier and faster than the guy next to you.
I believe in
guy across from you, rather.
In talk shit, spit blood. That's what I fucking.
I don't believe in starting shit, but I do believe in finishing it, and finishing it as fast.
Oh man. I'll start it. I'll finish it. I'll fucking jump in the middle. I don't give a fuck, man.
Hey, what do you know?
Well, I mean,
Bullshot. Let me ask this question. I realize there's a bit of a digression here, but what have you been hearing? Because you're in the area, in the Virginia area, about that guy that drove into that Charlotte group. Was he being chased by a professor with a weapon or not?
No.
Okay.
Not that I've read. Not that I've seen.
I've heard it but it's just, as far as I know, it's a rumor.
It's as far as I know and what I've read recently on it, it's all conjecture. But we still don't 100% know.
So has that guy gone to trial yet or anything?
I mean, I think he's been sentenced, but I don't fucking not sentenced, but arraigned, and charged. I think he's been charged. I don't fucking remember. I don't honestly.
But he hasn't. But the trial hasn't started yet.
But I don't believe so.
It would be interesting to see. I'm curious about what they come back as facts, and what the facts are that this guy comes back with, and what his excuse is. Because I'm sorry, what I saw in that video, that guy just drove into that crowd.
Dude, that bitch was going bowling. Like, that bitch was legit going bowling.
As I said when we first talked about that story, though, what if the other argument is true? He was being assaulted in the vehicle. They're trying to rip him out, and he gunned it, but that's off camera. I mean, there is a defense that could be made here. Maybe not strong, and I'm not necessarily making it. I saw the video, too. It was fucked.
Yeah, but mad odds, that's conjecture. All right. Yeah. I mean,
well, the other thing is that in law, it's equal force has to be to equal force. The dude had a fucking car, and then you had people on the street, pedestrians. The car is gonna win. Obviously, he went bowling.
Well, the other thing is that
you guys not have? Oh, I was just gonna say real quick. Do you guys not have jaywalking laws? should these people be in the middle of the street? Let's be fair here. The law should be equal under the law, not.
Well, I mean, it was a protest, and to my
Did they have a
knowledge,
permit for that protest? Was it shut down like a
They
parade
both-
area?
Is that what you do? Is you go out and get your permit, and once you got your permit, you can drive over what 5, 6 people? Do you have to? Do you
Fuck
have to
yeah.
get out?
I'm not. No, I'm not.
Do you have to
Okay,
put tags
I'm
in the
just
air?
playing devil's advocate.
Hey, welcome
No,
to Thunderdome,
don't paint
bitch.
me as don't make me the bad guy. No, Voice of Blood isn't here. He's our resident bad guy.
Dude,
Don't,
no.
don't make
Dude,
me the bad
We're
guy.
gonna
here.
Mad Max this shit, okay? Fuck, fuck it. Flaming guitars and shit. Yeah, that was
Well,
Thunderdome.
okay. Well, then where's your fucking sympathy when these assholes are down I-5?
What are you talking about?
Thing. That's what I'm saying. Did they shut down the area for the protest? Should that car have even been there? Because when we have a festival at the town I fucking went to high school in, they have Scandi Fest every year. They shut down whole sections of the city to drive through there.
I don't think they could.
When you get a permit to protest, don't they shut down an area? Kind of like when you get a permit for a block party. I mean,
Okay,
what the
so
fuck?
from
doesn't
my
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, go ahead, MC.
That doesn't excuse him from gunning the car.
You went Mad Max on that motherfucker, dude.
All right,
But
into a crowd. There's one thing to be trying to push your way through a crowd and the crowd trying to stop you, and you just keep pushing your way through. All right, and if people get hurt in that kind of a situation where a person is just trying to push their way through and the other people are trying to stop them, I really don't have any sympathy for those people. But that's a heck of a lot different than a crowd of people looking up because they hear an engine rushing and going, "Ooh, look!" And the next thing you know, they're like, they're flying.
Well, like I said, is that what happened?
Dude,
I mean,
look, from
you
what
don't see the car from where it started originally, do you? You
Hey,
don't
Mad
know
Dog.
what happened that precipitated this.
Look, Mad Dog, the permits were for a park, and it was not the park that was originally assigned. They both had permits, apparently. I don't know why the fuck they would do that, but whatever. That's on them. But I think where that occurred was outside of that area. But however, it's still a car fucking going Mad Max on people. You know what I'm saying? Like
And I understand that.
you get you put the we strike, you got a fucking strike on that shit. I mean, seriously.
Well, and if you want to talk about, him being assaulted previously, you're going to have to coordinate with police reports as to where the Antifa members were at the time. I mean, if you can kind of shadow police reports and be like, "Oh, yes, well they were clearly, 2 or 3 blocks down where this guy was coming from. Maybe this report is true." But I mean, I don't think anyone knows that aside from the police.
It needs to be corroborated. If in fact he was assaulted previously that we didn't see, it needs to be corroborated.
Right.
And if he was, I mean, fuck. I mean, you do what you have to do
Well,
when
do
you're trying to
you-
survive, right?
I'm just some random YouTuber, and I'm making this argument. Do you think he has a good enough lawyer to even think about this? Or did he get some public defender that's just
Does
going
he
to
have
throw
money?
him under the bus and move on?
Does he have money?
Does he have backing from somebody that's willing to pay his court costs or not? Is the question.
Yeah.
Oh, totally, actually.
Like,
So-
because he's gonna have to have some fucking money to try and get out of this without, like. I mean, I think he's gonna serve jail time regardless, but I mean,
Well, he's totally going to get the support of people like Andrew Anglin and Mike Enoch and shit. They'll totally fucking help him pay court fees.
I mean, if he can, it does depend on what kind of lawyer he gets. It also, I mean, the facts of the case are important. We don't know all the facts. That's true. Aside from what we saw, all right, and what I saw, I'm going to be real frank. It's damning. So, aside from that, yes, it's conjecture one way or another. But as much as Mad Dog, you can say, well, what if he was chased? Well, okay, if you're going to play the what if game, then what if he wasn't? What if he was like driving along the edges and finally saw a big enough crowd that he thought he could plow through? Okay,
Well,
I mean,
no, exactly. And, and this was kind of a thought experiment. I was playing the part of the defense team. This would be my argument. He was assaulted. He feared for his life and he panicked. Now, that can equal manslaughter, but premeditated murder, the death penalty, no. And that would be my basis of
He's not
argument.
gonna-
Does
he's
he
not-
even have a good enough lawyer to make that argument?
He's not going to get the death penalty. I can guarantee you that.
Yeah, I don't think that he's
Because it wasn't premeditated, nor he didn't think he was going to kill it. I honestly believe that, yeah, he meant to drive into those people, but he didn't think anyone was going to get killed. But I don't fucking know. I'm not an attorney.
See, I don't know if it's that so much, because he rammed that car.
No, I
Okay.
agree with you.
And he didn't care if there were people in between the car or not. And there were people that did get hit, although I think the girl actually got hit by the other car that he ran into that shoved it in on top of her. But it's impossible to know because I don't have all the footage of it either. But it doesn't matter. The way he ran into that car, it could be a number of different things. All right. I mean, but they better come back if they're going to come back and they're going to get him off, they better come back with a convincing excuse or a convincing reasoning as to why he was driving at that speed down that road, because he was increasing speed as he came down that road.
Exactly. I would argue he was in fear for his life at that moment and in panic mode, fight or flight response.
Yeah, I'm in panic mode when I fucking drive down the interstate and I'm late for work. Okay. Does that mean I get to fucking play Mad Max? I mean,
fair enough. Like, I'm not a lawyer. I'm just doing my best to argue the other side. We don't know.
Was there an immigration rally in the way? I would have said yes.
Dude, no, seriously, when the Black Lives Matter people were fucking blocking off our interstate, some dude with a fucking diesel pickup truck just fucking flew through them. I'm like, oh my god, this is wow. America.
Well, no, and it seems like everybody is outraged at this incident, which was during a very contested, almost riot-like situation in Charlottesville. And they're perfectly fine with people running down Antifa on I-5. What's the difference? I mean,
immediately. They don't have rights. Okay.
Aim. a free hand.
I'm fucking kidding. You shouldn't be running over people. But if you are legitimately in fear of your life, I mean, what are you gonna do? But I don't know. I have something completely different. Has anyone seen that shit where the white South African people are trying to they signed a petition to get Donald Trump to get them over here?
Oh yeah, I have
trying to flee.
I would support that. They're being massacred. I would fully support. They are refugees, and if Britain won't take them back, or whatever European country they came from,
the
Netherlands, I would say we should take them in.
I would just let them all suffer.
Well, but you know what? The thing is, like, I just read this today, that the petition would be to stop getting refugees from the Middle East and just start bringing in the white South African refugees. And I saw that what they're doing in South Africa, they're systematically giving the white people with the farmland to the local black population or some shit, right?
They just passed the Confiscation Act to allow them to seize the land from all the white farmers.
Yeah, without compensation.
Yep. Without compensation.
Yeah, that's my point exactly. They have nowhere to go. They're going to starve to death, and they're going to not have water. Look at Cape Town.
They're not going to starve to death. They're going to get killed, probably.
Yeah. Well, the ironic
rest of the populace will be starving to death soon.
Well, and the ironic part is that quite a few of them are actually going to Zimbabwe, actually. A country that, only 10, 15 years ago was actually kicking out white people, but had to bring them back because they're the only ones that knew how to farm.
This is a giant... This is going to be very interesting if Donald Trump does agree or looks at it or fucks it or whatever the fuck he wants to do with it. It's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen, because regardless, I believe there will be a civil war in South Africa soon.
Well, yeah, because I mean, they have fought before, the white South Africans, right? They were part of the Boer wars or whatever. I don't remember, right?
They were the Boer Wars. They were fighting the British. Yes.
Yeah, so they do know how to fight, and they're the ones that know how to farm. And what if they don't leave their homes? You know what I'm saying? What if they just arm up and
You know,
say, no, come
there's a
and
bunch
take
of
it? And that's what I would do.
Lauren Southern actually is making a documentary about it, and I think it's called like Farmland or some shit. I can't remember, but she interviewed a whole bunch of white South African farmers, and they are like armed to the hilt with like automatic, semi-automatic weapons, fucking diesel fuel, hydroponic systems, like all this like end of the world apocalyptic shit that we talk about over here, just being weird and bug out people or whatever, preppers. They're doing it for real. It's insane.
Well, then they already have the kindling ready. It's just when is the match to be lit, right?
And they're going to end up getting driven over by tanks.
Yeah,
that's what's going to happen.
Well, and the UN will just stand by and let this white genocide happen, will they not? They won't do a damn thing. And that's why we should leave the UN.
Do you want UN peacekeepers anywhere?
Dude, I was about to say last time.
Rape squads running around in your neighborhood? What the hell's the point of the UN? I'd rather they let this happen than to try and interfere and stop it.
I was about to say.
No.
I was about to say
what happens though?
We shouldn't interfere like on the ground at all.
No, we should just ship them a bunch of FALs.
Ship them a bunch of MREs and fucking
what happened? No, after the Holocaust, what happened to never again? How many genocides are we going to stand by and watch happen? And if you let this white genocide happen, you're going to see the rise of more Richard Spencers and David Dukes. I guarantee it.
Hold on. The Holocaust, you mean like the Trail of Tears before that and everything else,
Well, there you go. How many genocides?
Holocaust.
Well, the decimation of an entire people, I mean.
No. But you're forgetting the last half of my statement. You're going to see the rise of more David Dukes and Richard Spencers out of this white genocide. They will have a rallying point. They will have something that's proof that they are right.
And you know
there
what?
There is a white genocide. There is a cleansing going on. And that will be.
You know what they'll be told? They'll be told by people like me that if you think that situation is so bad and you're ready to defend Whitey, pick up your gun and go over there and form your own freaking militia.
How many militia groups are there? How many militia groups are there? These people are not necessarily.
Go over there and fight for what your beliefs are. If you're so concerned about that, Americans have always been like this. When they get rallying up like this, you will get the real hardcore ones that really do believe in the cause, whether it's a leftist cause or a rightist cause. Right, will pick up arms and go to those areas and fight. And if
have you heard of the Cuban filibuster? I mean, yeah.
But like, okay, so Richard Spencer wants to create a white ethno state, right? And people like him, right? Do it in South Africa. There's your white ethno state. Now shut the fuck up and let everyone else do our jobs.
See, that's the thing. Like people like Charles Manson. We're telling people, helter skelter, the race war is coming. This was 40 years ago. Now, you look at the media today, it kind of looks like that, doesn't it?
Manson was so fucked up on acid and everything else that he believed he was Jesus Christ. I mean, we look at a homeless guy saying
how many, what have the white people ruined this year? Videos do you need to see that going alt-right? I'm not. I'm a libertarian. I want freedom for everybody. But come on, their voice is going to get louder. It is because of the white genocide in South Africa, because of these racial politics.
Do you think some of these people deserve freedom?
Say it one more time.
Do you think some of those people deserve freedom?
What people?
Anybody, like Mad Dodge said.
I think everybody deserves freedom. I'm an individualist. I believe the individual is the ultimate That's where the real freedom needs to lie. Even the Constitution says what is not delegated to the federal government or the
South
states is
Africa.
withheld to the people. Yeah,
Well,
that is
that's
South Africa. You're right.
not America. I mean, seriously, we can't. Unfortunately, we can't apply our laws to them. They have to, you know.
You're absolutely right. But what I'm saying is the culture in general is giving rise to these alt-right politics. And it's almost in parallel to what was happening, I don't know, the 20s and 30s. I mean, come on. Anti-Semitism is on the rise. Racial tensions is on the rise. All over the world, you see groups like the Golden Dawn coming to power. I mean,
oh my God,
what
the
are we going to
Golden
do?
Dawn? Are you fucking serious? I read that book when I was 13.
No, the Golden Dawn Party in Italy actually has what 25% of the parliament. That's an actual group within
I know
Italy that just rose.
What's the Golden Dawn?
They're literally fascists that originate from Greece. It's a fascist party.
Awesome.
Oh, I was talking about the pig.
Yeah.
Shit, but whatever. There's a book called The Golden Dawn, and Aleister Crowley was a part of it. Yay.
Well, I know that, but no. What I'm talking about is the fascist movements. The fact that this is fermentating in the world again, and now we have hydrogen bombs. Okay, we can't have a World War II right now. We will wipe out the entire world. You guys go ahead and tell me I'm stupid now. Go for it.
Okay, you're stupid.
I don't think you're stupid. I mean, I'm not saying that it's not on the rise, because it is, because the media is perpetuating it. Like
the media is inflaming it. You're correct.
Yeah, I think on both sides of the aisle, it's being like Antifa, and then you've got the neo-Nazis or whatever the fuck, white nationalist, ethno-state people, you know, it's being blasted on the media. And we've always had that shit. It's just everywhere now because the internet, for one, and for two, like Donald Trump is president, so the entire world has to be a clusterfuck. Because reasons!
Well, no, but like I can understand the rise of Richard Spencer. I'm surprised David Duke hasn't reformed the fucking Klan already, you know, into a fucking 20th insurrection.
Lowest numbers in fucking like 40 years or 30 years or some shit.
Well, yeah, because they all moved to the neo-Nazi militia groups.
Which
the white supremacists are still around.
I honestly don't understand neo-Nazis or Nazis, like people who espouse to be Nazis or whatever, because it's like your grandfather, your great grandfather killed those fuckers in World War II. Why are you going to become it? That's why I'm alright.
Oh no, and also,
you know what? That's why I'm okay with punching Nazis, because 60 years ago we would have shot you in the face.
Wolfshot, look at this. They co-opt the Confederate flag, which was a secession movement, which actually wanted to cut the federal power. And they throw the Confederate flag out there because we're too stupid to know actual history. Because the Confederacy is far from fascist or Nazi, Like, God damn it. These fucking idiots.
It's like I've seen broadcasts of
I think they are fucking retarded. But I see why they're rising. I see why 4chan is blowing up with them. I see why Christopher Cantwell, a neo-Nazi, is on Gab making a bunch of fucking money on his podcast, spouting race shit. The Daily Stormer will never go away. I mean, and how can you fight this when, on the other hand, there is white genocide going to happen? It's a ticking time bomb in South Africa. That shit will blow up.
Well, yeah, I said that, but I don't give a fuck about South Africa. Honestly. I mean, there's nothing I can do about South Africa except for what MC said. Take up arms if I believe in it that much and fight. But I'm not going to do that because I don't give a shit.
Well, one of my favorite YouTubers, fucking Conscious Carousel or Clerical, whatever. It's hard to say the other.
Clerical, Jesus.
Clerical, yeah.
Clerical.
He's in South Africa. What happens to him? What happens when he gets his head chopped off with a machete?
He needs to carry his ass somewhere
Actually, I
else.
was around tonight to actually talk about this, but I mean, this genocide is going to be
Truthfully,
real.
if I haven't talked to him, all right, for a while now, but with this latest thing that was passed, I'm serious. He'd better frickin' be seriously considering it, and as quickly as possible get the hell out of the country.
Yeah, he needs to leave.
Right, and it's not a joke, because this is the same kind of tactics that the Nazis used. This really was the same kind of tactics the Nazis used. Is they would ratchet it up slowly against the Jews, and many of the Jews, all right, who had the means and had the ability could have fled Germany prior to them getting incarcerated and getting the little Jewish star.
Thank God oh no, continue MC, but thank God Einstein was smart enough to get the fuck out, right? I mean, could you imagine if he got killed?
Well, I mean, the thing is all of these, all of this is you've got to understand the situation, and unfortunately, that they, whether for better or for worse, all right, that's an elected government. They elected the people of South Africa elected that. All right, they want this to happen. The people of South Africa, they're doing this because their elected officials say this is a good thing, and the populace agrees. If the populace agrees that you're the bad person and we're going to lynch you at any point in time, you better realize, well, be prepared to be lynched or get the hell out.
Pretty much.
Or arm up, which is their plan, but their plan won't work because you're right.
Yes, that goes
They're going to be hit with tanks.
90% of. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Do you think democracy is a good thing?
Actually, I am very against a direct democracy. I hate it, as a matter of fact. I am for a constitutional republic, sir. So I do not think a democracy is a good thing.
No,
I just hate white people.
The thing is 90% of the people in South Africa are black. Okay, so when you're only 10% of the population and 90% of the population has voted to lynch you, all right, everyone better
run, motherfucker.
You're outnumbered 10-1 or 9-1. You might want to think about getting the heck out of there before the balloon goes up.
Yeah, I mean, even the Jews in Germany, were far greater. I mean, they were in like the 20s or I think late 20s in terms of population percentages. I mean, they still got, a little fucked.
Well, but what happens when you try to leave and they confiscate everything you own so you can't leave? That's what happened in Nazi Germany, and I could see South Africa going down that route next.
Well, then you get out before you get to that point, because you're at that right now. Right now is the tipping point. Get out now. Get out. I'm not. I hate to say that. I don't want anybody to leave their homelands. All right. I understand the ties that people have to where they were born and so forth. But I'm telling you now, in that situation, the only sane response is to get the heck out before it gets any worse. You can try and defend yourself. Just be prepared to die for the cause, because that's all you're going to do is you're going to be a martyr for the cause. So
can you apply that to America, like with all these people who are stockpiling arms? Like, do you think they stand a catch chance in hell if our government decides, hey, this one group of people, you're fucked? I mean, can we apply that same logic? MC?
I hate to actually speak for MC, which I will though real quick, because we differ so much. I believe that an armed population can maybe survive because we have shown that through the revolution. The British were far superior to us in arms and ammunition, but we won.
Well, right, but the British didn't have drones.
I believe
and
if
Abrams.
Oh, yeah, I was about to say
So what? Look at the Vietnam or North Korea. North Korea's thumbing their nose at us right now. We have drones. Why haven't we handled them?
Okay, but if you can't use the same, that especially Vietnam. You can't even use the Vietnam.
Yeah, Vietnam was just fucking Vietnam.
Dude, You don't win every freaking major battle and go, oh look, we lost the war.
So yeah, MC. So like my back to my original question.
Wait, no.
God
No,
damn
wait a
it!
minute. No, you wait a minute. Did you just say you can't win and be like, oh, we lost the war? Is that not the story of the entire Confederacy? You
God
prick.
damn it!
Oh my
At
gosh.
least the Army of Northern Virginia. God damn it.
You know what?
Fuck you.
I'm
Fuck
a
you with that.
Virginian. I'm a Virginian, and I want you to shut the fuck up.
Here we go.
MC, can you please answer my question?
Are you
MC.
live? MC's been taken over.
MC doesn't know whether to argue with me or to answer Wolfshot's question. He's contemplating.
Well, it's a good question though. Like all these people who are stockpiling arms, like, isn't it a kind of useless act when the government has fucking nukes and shit? And warheads that are, 10 times more powerful than what we dropped in Hiroshima?
No, it's not. But it's a different scenario. Okay. If they're going after individual preppers or something like that, then your answer to that question is yes. All right?
No. I mean an entire group of people. Like if they say, I don't know, fuck. Someone give me a group of people. I don't know. Whatever group, Jews, fine. If
if
Donald
talking
Trump
about South Africa, so the entire white population decided to say, no, we don't want to fucking go with your bullshit anymore. We're not evil. And we uprise. And the American military put that down.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about if Donald, this is a hypothetical. This isn't, don't take it to heart or anything. So if Donald Trump decides, I fucking hate all black people, I'm going to go after all the black people now. Or Hispanics, whatever, like 10% of the America's population, the minority population.
And they're readily identifiable?
Yeah, by skin color.
Okay. And they're spread out like they are right now? Just like a homogenous society could if they started to band together in clusters, could they defend themselves against the U.S. military?
Yes, that's what I'm asking.
No.
Okay.
They would be exterminated.
Okay. So it's not. I know it's not a futile thing to stockpile arms and Second Amendment and all that shit, because Lord knows I've got my own fucking gun room, right? But I always hear these people, I'm going to stockpile arms and my Second Amendment rights against the government who I kind of support, but then I don't, which I'm afraid of because I'm stockpiling arms. Do you understand what I mean? It's kind of hypocritical, or not hypocritical, but you know what I mean, right?
Yes and no. I mean, I do understand what you're saying, but you also got to understand they're expecting the general populace to be on their side. All right, so the government wouldn't be trying to exterminate a small little group. They'd be trying to exterminate, or they'd be fighting against half the populace. All right, this is where I've tried to make this argument before and explain to people. Just because a civilian is walking down the street and not armed, okay, doesn't mean that they're not the enemy. All right, when you go to war, okay, the war is against the people. Okay, that's what the war is. Yes, we in the West try to concentrate on just our armed forces, but the reality is in a war situation, you're trying to impose your will upon the enemy via force of arms, and that includes the populace that you take over. Okay, you are an occupying force if you're like, for example, in the case of Iraq. All right, so the populace can't be considered as if they're just civilians, they're just regular people. No, they're the enemy. That's why you sent us over there. Now that doesn't mean that doesn't mean you massacre them in the streets.
I was going to ask you, so MC, when does that become genocide? When does that become labeled, like cross that threshold of?
Well, okay. What the difference is not so much do you go out there and murder the population. All right, I'm not saying that you murder the population, but at the same time, you don't bleed over the population because they were hiding a bunch of freaking terrorists. When you take out the house and cry, "Oh, but civilians got killed in it too." Okay, they're the enemy.
Because like in Africa,
no, they're not.
Like in Africa,
they are.
Okay, so like like in Africa, their systematic genocide when they were going through that whole bullshit in Ghana and Darfur. We're gonna have Darfur 5 here soon. Fucking, they would rape the women and force the men to join their military, and it was systematic genocide. So I guess that is the threshold between what they do and what we do as a military. I guess.
Well, what we do is it's a difference between intentionally targeting civilians, right, versus not. Okay, just because civilians are going to die, it's a war.
Well, yeah, I don't give a.
You have to accept.
I'm just positing these questions, MC. I honestly don't give a fuck. Kill them all. Whatever.
You don't.
Nuke the whole goddamn Middle East. No, I'm kidding.
The thing is that people have to understand who the enemy is. The enemy, just because somebody says that they're a civilian, doesn't mean they're not the enemy. Now, that doesn't mean that just because they're the enemy, that doesn't need necessarily that you need to target them. All right, but at the same time, you can't look at the situation as if these are just everyday walking around people, because they're not.
There you are. But no, but MC, okay, so what if I decide to join the Cascadia secession movement, and we decide, you know what, we're going to move on this.
The what?
Cascadia. There's a stupid secession movement, Cascadia, for half of California, half of Oregon, and a piece of Washington to secede from the United States.
Right now?
Oh yeah, there is. Yeah, but.
Good luck.
I'm giving a hypothetical. Now, if I decided to join that and they actually did something, does that make my kids a viable target? Because that's what you're saying when, we just killed a couple civilians.
Okay, well, if you're
trying to kill me.
You're not listening to me either.
To kill me,
yeah,
but I'm around my children and they die as well.
Well, if your kid comes at me strapped to the nines with fucking, grenades and shit, and mortars, yeah, I'm gonna probably kill your kid.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying we're at a cafe. No, we're at a cafe eating dinner, and you're after me, but you drone strike the whole cafe. Is that legitimate?
Yes.
I would say no.
You can say no all you want. You can, jeez.
Your kid was saying no too.
Well, and I would think certain senators would agree with me. Actually, I don't think I'm that far out there.
Senators that agree with you have never been to war.
Fucking A. Sorry.
The idea that somehow you could have this nice, clean little exercise surgical strikes that just get the exact person.
You just killed me. You just killed me for political reasons. You killed me because I killed you
because you are the enemy. I killed you because you are the enemy.
That's the way
you were using your enemy. You were cowardly using.
No, that's just the way you make it valid in your own mind. They are the enemy. They are the jab. They are the crowd. They are this. They are that. That doesn't make it okay to kill. That doesn't make it okay.
It doesn't okay to.
That doesn't make it valid.
It doesn't okay. Whether you like it or not, it's not a matter of it's okay to kill them. They weren't being targeted. You're the target. And if you're going to sit up there and use them as a freaking human shield, that's on you.
Wait, eating dinner is using them as a human shield? Eating dinner with your family is using them. Okay.
You're the enemy.
I am Russia. I am Putin. I decide I want to go to war. I should kill Trump's children? Fuck,
do you think
whatever.
Do you think
that's just okay.
Hold on. Do you think he would bomb the White House?
Hell yeah.
Do you think Trump would be there when he bombed it? Can you give me a fucking break?
No. We're saying, no. Let's say that he's that Putin gets a
shit would be like Independence Day.
Well, yeah. Let's say that Putin gets some intel that Trump is driving a Winnebago with the family intact.
Winnebago
on I-5. That's I-5 is very popular today. All right.
Yeah, right there in my neck of the woods. All right, I'm with you.
Would I expect him to still be targeted and taken out? Yes, I would. That's what war is.
Really? No, see, that is ridiculous. You're just justifying the killing of innocent individuals.
No, I'm not.
For political reasons.
They're not the innocent.
That's all you're doing.
They are
They are innocent.
No, they are not.
Hey,
they're the crowd. They're the damn Japs. Kill them, the damn Japs. Kill them all, right?
Mad Dog, damn it. Haven't you said kill them all and take their land before?
Isn't that imperialism?
God damn it!
Isn't that
You really have to
imperialism or
bring that up right
colonialism?
now. I thought I was arguing a good point until you brought that up. Thanks a lot, buddy.
You're not arguing a good point. This is the
I
problem.
am, because you can't just kill and
They are.
they
You're
are
not
innocent.
Just, you're not
They
just.
did
Hold
not
on.
did not go and
Blood
bomb
They
your
are
capital.
the enemy. If you're trying to take out the enemy and you're not given a choice, that you can either let that enemy continue. They are totally the enemy. Okay, your idea is, oh, they're innocent. Are they willing to sit up there and support you? Are they willing to give my enemy food and shelter to hide him from me? Then they're the enemy.
So you don't care about the Geneva Accords, the Geneva Convention.
We don't give a shit about the UN, dude. When the fuck?
That's true.
I mean, who the fuck cares? Like, you've said it multiple times, Mad Dog. Who the fuck cares about the UN? You know what I'm saying? So why? I mean,
yeah, but the rules of war is something that should be upheld.
You know what Sun Tzu? Hold on. You know what Sun Tzu said about war? It has to be swift and it has to be bloody and it has to be to the point, right? That is war. It's bloody. It's terrible. It's not a good time. It's not clean. I don't know, like, if you're willing to house a terrorist or some cocksucking asshole, I don't know, whatever, then you're a part of it. You're an accessory. You would be an accessory to murder.
You know what? Fine. You know what? In yours and MC's arguments, then John Wilkes Booth did nothing wrong. He fought for the Confederacy. They were at war, and by God, he had every right to blow.
He was a traitorous spy who sat there and infiltrated the North, assassinated the president.
Yeah, but you know what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. War is bloody. War is bloody.
It is.
War is a bloody thing, sir.
It is.
And it is okay. And he had every right to do it.
You might want to read that book,
and
though.
by God,
and
John
the Union had every right to go after him and exterminate him like the vermin he was.
They
Fucking blood pressure.
They didn't get him.
He
They
was
didn't get
the
him.
enemy.
They didn't get him. He didn't die. He wasn't in that barn.
Elvis is not dead.
He didn't even have the same hair color.
Elvis
He wasn't a fucking redhead. Yeah, John Wilkes Booth did not die in that barn. You heard it here, folks.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
I did not inhale. That's right.
Okay, so like Mad Dog, I would highly recommend reading The Art of War by Sun Tzu. Sun Tzu, whatever the fuck his fucking bitch ass name is.
I've read part of it. I haven't read the whole thing though, so I will read the whole thing. Right now, I need to start the Turner Diaries because that seems to be a big thing going around my Discord server. So yeah, that's the book club book of the month.
I can't believe you fucking got. Oh boy.
Yeah, that's the Mad Dodge book of the month for the book club.
That are providing support, providing shelter, all right, are not the enemy of just the enemy. While they're providing material support, while they're giving them arms, while they're funneling them arms, somehow all of a sudden, because they themselves don't take up arms, that they're quote unquote sacrosanct. And I'll tell you something about the Geneva Convention. If you read the Geneva Conventions, just to let you know, it says intentional targeting of the civilians. When you're targeting the enemy combatants, if a civilian dies, guess what? The Geneva Conventions say that happens, it's war.
Don't you have to declare war? And genocide is not necessarily war, is it?
Holy fuck.
Are you seeing a genocide? Are you seeing everybody just taken out, rounded up, and shot?
They will be in South Africa, which was our original starting, was it not?
I understand.
So let's wrap it back around. What's the rules there? What should the internet?
The rules there are is once again, this is a bunch of pompous freaking people sitting over there in the EU that have helped create this freaking problem. This has nothing to do with the United States. Yep. Since you don't want the world to be us United States to be the world's policeman, and you've railed against that repeatedly, Mad Dodge, then the solution is, guess what? I hope you guys get out. See you later.
Can't we extend a helping hand? Can't we take in the refugees? Would that not be a fair solution?
You can give me a slow hand job. That's your helping hand, okay?
Bloody hell, Wolfshot. Yeah, I missed you, Wolfshot. Welcome back.
I missed you too.
I know you did. I know. Like, That could be your helping hand, giving me a slow hand job while we watch the fucking South African government like absolutely demolish the white South African people.
Can we let them in? Yes, of course we can let them.
We can, but should we?
I don't see a reason not to. All right, in a situation like that, I don't see a reason not to. I don't like the idea per se. I'll be honest with you. All right, because they're a bunch of liberal freaking scumbags, and I'm afraid how they'll end up voting in the next election.
Oh my God, really, MC? Jesus Christ.
You gotta think practically.
All right, but at the same,
that's why we didn't let the Jews in when they were asking for fucking sanctuary.
Believe it or not, during the 1940s, but prior to that, we had cut off all immigration into the United States. It wasn't just the Jews.
No, I know. Well, I think we should do that now, but I'm an asshole.
If we do that now, and we're under that kind of a policy, then I hope they get to Mexico.
Get on a boat.
Yeah,
Get
because
on a fucking boat.
Because they're gonna be so much safer in Mexico.
Well, I mean,
they would be a hell of a lot safer in Mexico than roving gangs of people freaking trying to murder you with freaking axes, and then if you have a gun and fight back, they roll a tank in your house.
Well,
gosh, that sounds an awful lot like Mexico.
Dude, they need to go to like Germany or one of those other fucking EU states that are like, let's bring the refugees in, guys. They need to go there.
Well, no, if they go to Mexico, they could just jump the border, right? So, fucking A.
We are building
American.
a wall. Shut the fuck up. We are building that wall. God damn it.
That wall will get built sooner or later. Probably sooner rather than later.
Build it around fucking California, too.
I personally think that we should expend some nuclear testing, underground testing, right on the San Andreas Fault.
Oh my God. It's weak. But I mean, like, because they were talking about, like I said, cutting off refugees from the Middle East to let in people from South Africa. I don't know how I feel about that because me personally, I don't think we should have anyone right now because we need to sort our shit out.
Yeah, I'm closer to your opinion than the opposite. I don't think we need to. All right.
But then again, the South African people aren't trying to fucking kill us at every point and turn. That's the other thing. We're not at war.
Yeah, I don't have to worry about the next thing I know. They go Allah Akbar and.
I mean, they might. I don't fucking know. I don't know every fucking white South African farmer person. Whatever.
Don't most of them even know English already? I mean, wouldn't they be better refugees than what we're already getting?
See, the problem is we don't know how to vet fucking refugees, period. That's my main problem. Like, we don't know what
we don't even vet at all.
I thought we vetted.
Well, we use a term that we call vetting, but he's right. It's not really vetting.
Well, I mean, that's true. I mean, like, when I ask my wife to blow me, it's not really a blowjob now, is it? No. Totally get it. No, thank you. So, like, that was their argument, is that the Middle Eastern people cannot be properly vetted, but the South African people can be properly vetted.
I don't, to an extent that's true because of the documentation process is obviously much better. But that would require cooperation. To be honest, to be real frank, that would require cooperation from the South African government.
Is that racist as fuck or no? I mean, I don't know. Me personally, I don't give a shit if it is.
How is that racist?
Well, you're excluding one group because they're, No,
it's a matter of, can you get records, all right, or not? Can you give me documentation? Can you give me some kind of proof?
Well, you can always falsify documents. That's
of course you can, but at the same time, it's a lot harder. It's one less piece that you can use, right? When you have a record, and just a guy says, well, this is my paper, so you look at the paper and go, when were you born? And if the guy can't remember when he was born, it's on the paper. It's simple things like that. You can't even do that with these refugees now. Because they have nothing. They have no way of cross-checking anything and everything. Yeah, is it a perfect system? There's never going to be a perfect system. Can you falsify documents? Yes. Can people memorize what's on a document so they could get across the borders? Of course they can. All right. I mean, to be honest, frankly, that's how spies go in and out of areas, right? Both our spies and their spies. Okay.
Yeah.
Is they've got that good a memory where when they're presented with documentation, they can instantly regurgitate it verbatim and not make a mistake. Okay.
Yeah,
So,
I just think we shouldn't have anybody, but it's going to happen regardless. I think. I mean, I like I said, I think it's going to be very interesting to see what Donald Trump says about the petition.
but as
And
far
how
as
many and how many trash cans are going to get lit on fire because, oh my God, he's letting the white people come over, but not the middle. Oh my God, racism. You know.
well, Trump may do it just for that reason, so he can watch more trash cans get burned.
Yeah, I could see him doing that. I could totally see him being an asshole and be like, "Yeah, bring over all the white people. Fuck you, Middle Eastern motherfuckers," just to piss off everyone on Twitter.
Yeah, no, I literally can see him doing something like that. Saying, "Watch!" I can see him in the cabinet meeting now. Oh, watch when I do this, guys.
Well, and 40 ounce, to get back to one of my original points, don't you think this genocide in South Africa that may or may not happen, but I feel like it will, don't you think that will give a bigger platform to people like David Duke and Richard Spencer, Millennial Woes, all these other alt-right individuals or white supremacists? Don't you think that's going to encourage them and maybe gain them popularity and support? Maybe even from South Africa itself.
Well, man, you got to understand, there's a segment of the population, and it pains me to say this, it really does, but there's a segment of the population that is incredibly stupid, and when given enough evidence, I mean, it doesn't matter if the evidence is falsified or not, but they'll pretty much believe fucking anything. I mean, just look at how many people will flock to, like, I know this is a bit of a fucking haphazard example, but look at how many people go to Andy Worski's show, because he hosts people who are predominantly alt-right, and he gets an incredible audience. He gets donations that have ranged to like $200 to $300 sometimes from people who are alt-right figures. I mean, for fuck's sake, there's a massive audience for it already. But a lot of people are pretty much already set in their ways. They're either Republican or Democrat or Libertarian or something. Conversion rates, politically speaking, are not as high as you think they are. So I don't think it's going to grow their platform. They might give them more evidence to say, yes, look at this awful white genocide, and people. There's a couple people behind it, and their name ends with "you." But I mean, I don't think it's going to give them a bigger platform than they already have. Someone say something.
Dick.
Well,
during
I was going to say, go ahead.
During the lead up to World War II, right, prior to the Nazis attacking Poland, there was a burgeoning Nazi movement in the United States, and it was small in comparison to the numbers, but it was still a lot larger than people realize, right? And it had a number of major spokesmen. Okay, so to say that in this kind of a situation, it wouldn't increase. I think that it would give them credence. They would be able to point to a specific thing of saying, like I said, the people, they will themselves say, well, look at what's going on in South Africa, right? At which point, like I said, there'll be people like me that are going to look them dead in the face and go, well, why aren't you out there fighting? Why aren't you out there trying to do something to stop it? And they're not. During the lead up of World War II, all right, is you had a pretty good sized in the United States communist movement, right? And when the fascists were fighting in Spain, that group of people got together, a serious group of people, and they went over there and they called themselves the Abraham Lincoln Brigade. And they fought on the side of the
bastards.
and they fought on the side, they were communists and they were fighting on the communist side, and they lost, right? If you watch the movie Casablanca, that's basically who Rick was. Is he was an ex-communist who had fought in Spain and lost.
Wait a minute. So the Abraham Lincoln Brigade was communist? I find that hilarious and very accurate. So I digress. Go ahead, boys. And girls. Sorry, didn't want to misgender you, Wolfshot.
I don't give a fuck. But I think, like MC said, that this is just going to give them more of a foundation. It's not like it's going to give them something to point to and be like, look at it. Look, this is what happens. It's not going to I don't think it's going to increase or decrease their numbers, I suppose.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, really, I think by saying, look at this is happening in real time right now. I think that is a good propaganda machine, and I think it would increase their numbers.
Americans don't look at other countries to determine what they're going to do. Americans look at Americans. They look in America.
America.
And it is true. The one statement that a person did point out was the hardest thing for people to realize is that the other guys on the other political side of the aisles, they're Americans too. So as hard-headed and as vicious as you are, they are as well. All right. So if it does come to blows, it'll be a serious long-term fight within the United States for a civil war if it ever comes to that again. Right. We haven't changed to any significant degree like that. So in the case of South Africa, it would have to turn into a situation where something happens within the United States that blows up. Okay. Before either side can really gain a whole lot of traction. There'd have to be some kind of major incident within the United States borders before anybody would really stand up and take notice.
He says it hasn't already blown up, MC.
It hasn't, because you don't see it yet in the streets. I'm talking about a major incident like a major slaughter and killing. You haven't seen major slaughter and killing in the streets for political purposes yet.
Yeah, we're talking like Tiananmen Square kind of bullshit. We're not talking Charlottesville. He hit one person with a car.
Bowling.
Right.
Bowling, yeah.
We're not talking about bowling. We're talking about fucking Mad Max.
Well, I'm talking about a bunch of people protesting in an area, and then several people go, you know what? I know what I'm doing here. We cordon off this area, you cordon off that area, and then we march and start mowing people down.
And someone brings a tank, and we're all fucked.
Well, it eventually tanks will roll, yeah, but it'll be shocking enough before it starts. You got to remember, people have built in the United States. People have taken, Caterpillar tractors and Caterpillar bulldozers, right, and basically put their own armor around there and drove through towns, right, and destroyed. No, they didn't kill anybody, but you still drove through a bunch of buildings and stuff. These things do happen from time to time.
That sounds fun. Just throwing that out there. That sounds fun.
And of course,
but what about the innocent civilians, Mad Dog?
No, they're homeless.
You motherfucker.
Yeah, I know. I'm a horrible libertarian.
Well, unfortunately, let's say a tractor goes through and destroys, 150 homes and leaves all those people on the streets. Well, that's what a tornado does every year.
I want to be a tornado.
You're a woman. You already have more in common with tornadoes than most.
Oh, you're so funny.
Actually, she has more in common with a hurricane.
I have more in common with a fucking 12-gauge shotgun. How about that?
That's probably accurate.
Never mind. All right. Any other stories, guys, or are we just going to end it here? We've been going over 3 hours, so it's been a good stream.
Yeah, we've been going almost 4 hours.
Yeah, so we could wrap it up here. This has been the Redeye stream number 89. We are back. And yeah, YouTube, you keep kicking me in the teeth, but we'll keep going. Good night and good luck. And sorry about the background noise.